Hello, hello.
Hey, Lowko.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Pretty good. I'm all warmed up now after the 4v4.
Perfect. The plan is coming together. Lowko, I must say it was great. I was making dinner and I was watching you watching me watching you
Yeah.
playing a game.
It
That
was
was
a
great.
little bit messy, but I got a lot of helpful advice though. Did you see the notes I took? I took a lot of notes from your replay
Yeah.
analysis.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I was cutting chicken and frying it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I got a whole overview with all of the things I should improve. So I haven't played any games obviously since watching your analysis, but
Yep.
I'm sure we can find more problems.
Yep. And I saw you reference the document I prepared for Lakari. I will be sharing that in the Discord as well because a lot of them are general tips and relevant to you as well. There will
Okay.
be personalized coaching, which will be specific to your style and desires. But like any general coaching, I will cross share as well. And the server will be the place to check those things out.
All right, cool.
Now, I haven't had a chance to fully like prepare like a plan for today, but I have some experience with coaching, and you are on a good track already. Now, the question is, what do you feel like you could need help with the most? Would this be knowledge, maybe some control mechanics, matchup information, goal setting, win condition management? Do you have any preference which direction you would like to go?
I feel like one of the biggest problems I run into, and I wonder if this is just knowledge, but I feel like every time I go creeping, I always do it in the most inefficient way possible. Now, I know there's websites out there that, like, give you, like, general guidelines and stuff, but I'm not super confident with Ancient of War creeping, and then coming up with, like, a plan for the rest of the creeping to get the hero to level 3 and all that, and it just seems very suboptimal. And I know that once you get to level 3 with the hero, especially with the Demon Hunter, it seems really good to go out onto the map and then harass the opponent, but then I'm spending a lot of time thinking about where my other hero needs to be creeping. So it always seems to come back to the same thing.
Yeah, cool. Great question. Let's just jump into that since that's where your interest is going towards. We can get very nerdy about creep mechanics, and especially as a Night Elf, but even in general as a Warcraft 3 player, it is very important to understand how the creeps think, because this game is 50% PvE and 50% PvP.
Yeah. Yeah, so like
So,
one of the big things I'm running into usually is just the strength of all of the orange camps. Like I've had
sure.
so many problems with me thinking I can take down an orange camp, but then the orange camp I'm attacking is way stronger than I anticipated it being. Like there's a few consistencies I've noticed where like generally the natural expansion creeps that are orange are usually a bit easier, and it's the same for like the goblin shop. Those seem to be a bit easier, but I can't really find a whole lot of logic behind, most of it.
Well, your conclusions, first of all, are pretty accurate.
Okay.
The logic behind the expansion not being too hard is one of racial balance. Some races rely more on a early expansion than others, and if the expansion was prohibitively difficult, then that would create balance problems where, for instance, a human cannot get into a fair type of game.
I see your screen. Let me see.
So humans sometimes rely on a fast expansion. If you go to a map like Concealed Hill, where the expansion is fairly tricky to take, then that could automatically make it into a bad human map.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. But some
And
of
then
the...
you mentioned the Goblin Merchant also sometimes has easier orange camps. Also because the Goblin Merchant is a key pivotal doodad, a pivotal building to use and interact with. That's why they don't make them too hard either.
Are those like generally the two that are easier, or are there more that you think are...
I'd say there's more. So let's see. If we look on this map, we've got an orange camp here. But this is only barely almost an orange camp. 3-3-4. So I will call this camp. Usually I call this a 3-3-4 orange starter because it is next to your base. It's orange and the levels are 3-3-4. You see?
Yep. So it's 10 in total?
Yeah, so Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah, we can number it. 10. Let's see. This is 242. That's 8. Maybe it's that 10 that pushes it over. 9 must be on the border. I like actually just attributing a number to it. This is green, 331. It's 7. I think that pretty much holds up if you just add the numbers.
I
This
didn't
camp
come
is
up with that. Like
harder.
somebody in my chat mentioned that like the orange camps are like the total levels. I think it's 11 to 20 or maybe 10 to 20, and then everything below that is green and everything
Ah.
above it is red. I don't know if that's true, but
Oh shit, let's see. This is 9, 11, 15. 15, 10. What else is orange? This map doesn't have a lot of creep camps. If you look at the red spot here, 9, 12, 16, 20, 26. Pretty badass. But yeah, anyways, it's a lot about just knowing the map. But yeah, I would not call this camp orange. This map can be solo crept by a single demon. Single blade, no help. And that's orange.
right.
But you try the same against this camp, you die. And it's partially also about what abilities they have. Now, I heard you say earlier on stream that you like quizzes and tests. I even heard you went to university, which makes you an oddity in our group.
Well, I didn't finish, but
Well, then I went to university too.
I went
But
for
I
many
showed up-
years, but I never quite got it all done. But you know, it happened.
Okay, shit. Hey, you know what? I'm still proud of you. I know I'm not your
Thank
parent.
you.
I'm still proud of you. I went to uni for -1 day. I showed up. I thought I was signed up. I wasn't signed up, and they said I should go home, so I did. True story.
What?
You know how there's like a deadline in the Netherlands where you have to
Yes.
sign up before like X date in the summer vacation after your high school? And then I kind of deliberately sabotaged that deadline date. Even though my parents kept bugging me, like, oh, you should go sign up already. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to sign up. And then
see.
I signed up a week late, but I figured it's still going to be okay. So then when I showed up on opening day of uni, they were like, we don't see you in the system.
So you
Then I
just
was
went
like-
home again?
Yeah, well, at first I was like, but I did sign up. And they're like, well, do you at least have your books? I'm like, books? Don't those get auto-ordered?
Wow.
So they didn't
So
get
then you decided to
auto-ordered.
become a pro gamer.
It
I
worked
mean-
out!
It's one of the
Destiny.
ways to do it.
So I'm still proud of you. You went for a few years. You went through the motions. You faked it better than I did. Okay, so let's do a little test. What does a troll trapper do?
I don't know about any of the individual abilities.
Damn it, dude.
Oh, I know he throws a
Okay,
net.
nice.
That guy throws a net.
Oh, shit. Okay, good. What does a troll priest do?
He heals.
Yep, and inner fire.
Okay.
Mud golem?
I have no idea.
Okay, rock golem?
I know that both of them are magic immune, because I've tried to
Correct.
emulate them, but that didn't work.
Nice. That's good. Another question came up from your stream earlier. When is the best time to town portal? Is it right before you lose your whole army or right after?
I think generally you want to do it before you lose everything. Yeah.
Okay, that's true. That's good. All right, pretty good.
Start to get
Very
the hang of the
close
basics.
Very close to perfect marks. Okay, so there are a lot of mechanics, and you are a note taker, correct? You're willing to take notes?
Yeah,
tonight
yeah,
as
I
well?
like taking notes.
Okay, so I don't have like 100% structure. I think there's a lot of separate lessons that need to be learned that will help you, and you may find them interesting. But if you feel like it is not relevant, or you want to move to something else, or you want to interrupt, you have a question, just interrupt, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so what do you need to know? What do you need to be careful of with troll trappers? They have ensnare. Now, why does ensnare matter? Because your unit is going to get rooted and could either die to creeps or to an enemy,
Right.
because you can't move for a bit. Now, how does ensnare work? Basically, it is on a cooldown. It doesn't cost mana. You see he has no mana pool. And he will cast an ensnare every once and so often. But the person he wants to target, it can never target heroes. It will target workers or units. And he has a range about this big around him. Let's say about 600 range. The same range as a Keeper of the Grove. Anything that enters this range, when he has available cooldown, he will throw an ensnare. And I'll show it to you now. He's just attacking.
Yeah.
Okay, and once that's on cooldown, then another unit can come in. Also, when there's multiple units inside that are moving around, he doesn't use ensnare again. It's already available. But go outside the range and come back in again, he will ensnare.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so when you're inside his hot zone, there are very few to no ensnares, but anything that enters. So you will often have the feeling that the unit you want to be ensnared the least actually gets ensnared, because it's whatever one you're moving, and without knowing the rules, it may seem pretty arbitrary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the
Okay,
fact
so
that
that's
it doesn't do
ensnared.
it twice within, like, as long as you're within a range, that seems quite random, right? Like, you'd imagine it would do it on cooldown if available.
Exactly. That seems arbitrary. Okay, now I'm gonna show you something else. We do a little bit of cheating. Don't tell anyone.
Sure.
Okay, what do you know about armor and damage types?
So I know that certain
I heard-
units deal bonus damage to certain armor types. And certain units, they have an attack type that deals significantly less damage to other unit archetypes. So for example, in StarCraft, it seems like everything always deals damage. Even if, like, you know, Marines are technically kind of garbage against, like, say, Ultralisks, at least they will still put in a little bit of work. But if you put,
Right.
like, I don't know, I'm guessing, like, archers versus a mountain giant in this game, it's not going to do anything.
Yeah, true. And for instance, a glaive thrower against an archer, he does 50. Well, let's say he does like 55 damage, right? Roughly 53, whatever.
Yeah.
How much is that? 26. He did about half damage.
Right.
But now we attack a huntress, and she takes 64 damage, which is more than his cap. It's a pretty big difference. I heard you say that you don't like studying the graph too much initially, which I get if that's not your learning style. So just remember the following. You can do plus 100% to minus 65%. That's the entire spread.
Okay.
So that's a relatively big difference. The difference between these, in fact, is a factor 6. So
Right.
some units will do 35%. A does 35% damage versus B. And then maybe B, something else, like X does 200% versus Y. So that's a factor 6 difference. So that's
Right.
how much it matters. It may matter up to 6 times.
So making the right
it
units is really
relevant.
important.
Yeah. It's like rock, paper, scissors counters. But there is also one additional aspect to consider. Certain units are really good against other units. For instance, an archer does a lot of damage against huntresses. But the huntress also does a lot of damage against archers. All fine and well. And this may remain true for a long time while all heroes are level 1. Heroes level 1 have the least sway over units because they're so low level. But once you get to levels like level 9 hero or level 6 hero, level 5, units that used to be good no longer are, just because some units get countered more by heroes than others. So say, for instance, you have mass archers and he has mass footmen with defense upgrade. The footmen easily win by cost against archers. But now add a demon hunter level 5 with immolation level 3, and footmen are melee. Now footmen are just garbage. You never would want to make footmen anymore against the demon level 5. Whereas the archers still have all kinds of purposes. And the archers can rely on the demon to kill the footmen. So just remember for now, it's something to store away for later, that heroes can change the balance of power between unit counters.
Yeah, it's not entirely linear. I see.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to go to the script camp. I have Demon Hunter. I'm not going to use abilities. And I'm going to creep this camp like how most new players creep camps. And you'll watch the result, okay?
Okay.
So I've seen this in the other invitational. People will start. They will tank with huntresses because they happen to be fast and be in front. So it's going to be something like this. There's a rock golem hit. He does a stun boulder. He targets the demon because he likes to prefer heroes. There was an ensnare. There's 2 slows. You see this effect on these 2 huntresses?
Mm-hmm.
That's a slow effect from the Mat Golem. His ranged unit is targeting Huntress, which takes bonus damage from the ranged unit. And slowed units get target fired more. Okay, so that went decently.
Yeah,
but
this was kind of lucky RNG here.
I think
Best
so.
case scenario.
Yeah. Okay, now let's do it again. And now I'm gonna micro it. It would be really funny if I did worse now, wouldn't it?
There's no way. No. So I'm guessing what you're supposed to do is target fire down the healer first. But after that, I have no plan.
That's true. I don't know if I told you before, but the usual priority is kill healer, range DPS. No, kill healer, mana havers.
Okay.
Or let's say spellcasters, right? Is that good enough to say spellcasters?
Sure.
Mana havers?
Yeah, mana units, so yeah.
Range DPS, tank.
And usually it seems the tank is the highest level unit in the camp, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's true actually.
So you would, like, so sometimes I wonder if it's good to, like, just nuke that one down as quickly as possible, but you're saying it's the exact opposite.
Well, let's take a look at his stats. He has 675 health, 4 armor, which gives a 20% damage reduction. So let's put his effective health at around 800. 800 health. Yes, we can't see his attack speed too much. It's fast. His damage is 31. So let's just assume that he attacks once per second. He has 31 DPS, 800 survivability, 800 health. Then we look at the Trapper. 400 health, less armor. So let's say he has about half the survivability of the Rock Golem, the Trapper. Does 23 damage. Let's just call that 23 DPS. 23 DPS 400, 31 DPS 800.
Right.
It's better to kill the Trapper first, usually. But there is a complication. He has mana. That makes him higher priority on our list. So in other words, it's complicated.
Yeah, it's not that easy. So I'm guessing healer first, then the smaller golem, then the big guy, and then maybe the range DPS? Or I guess the other, like the last two could be maybe reversed.
Interchangeable. Yeah, I think that's mostly correct. Healer first if possible always. But also we have a spellcaster here that is incredibly low health and has no armor. He casts slow as well, which is very annoying. And also these two creeps are magic immune. That means they will not receive inner fire buff from the priest. So upon starting the camp, this guy will immediately inner fire the Trapper, which gives 10% damage. And hold on, let me calculate. 12, 24.
He gets
30%. Yeah, he gets 30% survivability, 10% damage. Okay. But after he inner fires that guy, he can't inner fire these two. This guy casts sleep. So we'll actually, this guy casts slow. We'll first kill the Mud Golem, then the healer, then the mana having stun dude, and then we'll kill the Trapper. And we're gonna tank the first hit with hero, because hero armor takes less damage from DPS. Okay, just believe me on that. Ranged units do less damage on heroes, on average. So if we go in first with Huntresses, then Huntresses take loads of damage from ranged units. It's bad. So first we go in with Demon. We'll kill in the correct order. And then we move our Demon away from fat melee. And we'll move our Huntresses in to take the hit, to split. Because there are many types of resources in Warcraft 3. Gold and lumber. There's also XP and items and abilities and so on. But another resource is health regen, mana regen. So when my units are full health, there's no health regen resource being generated because I'm full. It's like trying to earn money when your gold coffer is full. So if I spread a little bit of damage on everyone, I will have quintuple health regen walking away from this camp. Whereas if I let my demon take all the damage and my hunters are all 100%, then I only have one time health regen. Understand?
Yep.
Okay, so let's do it now.
Do the Night Elf regen faster at night? Or am I...
Yes.
Okay.
All Night Elf units have no regen in the day except heroes.
Okay.
0 regen the whole day, which is half the time. And then all night, you have extra healing to make up for it. Like double what an orc or human would normally have.
Okay. Do you take that into consideration if you creep at all? Or
Yes.
is that... Okay.
Yeah, it matters. So, see, I'm taking the initial hit with Demon, and then I'm switching to Huntress, and maybe I let Huntress take several hits from the Rock Golem, so that He kind of spreads it. Everyone is now health regenerating. Go for the trapper. Kind of move this one away. Move her closer. Okay, so now all my huntresses are not dead. My demon did get bouldered more than the other, which actually you could say is potentially a less desirable result. And then another thing I did there is I stopped attacking the rock golem when I knew the next rock golem boulder will become available again. And then he will pick a huntress. If everyone is attacking him and he has cooldown for the stun, then it will always go to the hero, which could even kill you. So if you're low, momentarily you can stop. I think the cooldown is like 6-7 seconds. You momentarily stop, he will boulder a huntress, and then you can go in again. So this is desirable because now we only need to send back demon, and we heal with the demon. We also didn't use mana, and I'll explain something about Moonwell juice. But huntresses can be very costly to heal. And part of that is because hero armor is way better than unit armor. It takes reduced damage from many sources. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So
does it go up if it levels? Or is this flat?
Yes. So you've always got a type and you've got a number. The type never goes up, but the number goes up.
Okay.
So if I'm taking piercing damage, I take 10 piercing. It first gets reduced to 3.5, because I only take 35% from piercing. Then you take that 3.5 damage, and you mitigate it further by the damage reduction listed in the number, 23%. That's how it works. So it is good to take damage on your hero because they generally have better armor class than all of your units. So now if I was going to go back and heal anyway, I now only have to heal the demon instead of having to heal 2 nearly dead huntresses, which would cost way more.
Makes sense. Yeah. Is the Moonwell usage always like flat? Like, is it? So I know it has multiple charges if you use like an archer on it, but is there any logic behind that? Like, if you use it on a hero, if it can, it will drink the whole thing. But
yeah, let's talk about logic of Moonwells. You can never sub drink. You'll always heal to max until the Moonwell is empty or until you are full.
Okay.
Which is true, like what you just said. Additionally, 2 Moonwell juice is 1 unit mana healed, like restored.
Okay.
And 1 Moonwell juice is 2 unit HP restored.
Right.
So mana is 4 times more expensive than HP.
Yeah.
And you cannot heal these 2 separately. So if I have a demon hunter that has 200 health missing, like now, and I go back to the Moonwell, then this Moonwell will drop from 200 to about 100, restoring his health. As you can see, just a bit more, right?
Mm-hmm.
You saw that?
Yeah. I saw how it dropped.
Yeah, so now I'm going to use Immolation a little bit, and I'll take damage again. I guess these are not going to damage me too much, but just have to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Till I take 200 damage again. Pause champ. Okay. Okay, so we roughly have slightly over 200 damage again. And we've also used 70 mana, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
So the expectation now is that we lose 200 mana for 100 mana for 200 HP.
Mm-hmm.
And we lose another 140 mana for just 70 mana on hero. So it's going to take 240 from this Moonwell.
Right. Yeah.
250. So mana is incredibly expensive to heal from Moonwells. And Night Elf should avoid it as often as possible, except when you want to be greedy with it. So sometimes you'll show up with no mana in your pool at all. You want to be greedy, or there's just like, I don't care, I'm just going to drink full and I'm going to go to party again.
So that's actually very useful, because I've had a few times where I'm creeping, actually pretty much every game where I'm creeping, I'm like, oh, I'm full mana. So I'll try to do the efficient thing that you were talking about, right? Like there's basically a resource lost if you're not using it, because it regens. But if I mana burn a creep twice and I go back home, I waste all of my moon juice.
Yes. So if you mana burn twice, you will spend 100, but you start regen after the first. So let's say you show up back home with minus 70 from max mana.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to cost you 140 juice, which is 280 health. So the double mana burn costs you 280 health worth of Moonwell juice healing.
Right.
So you never think when your mana burn creeps twice that you're going to come back, you're going to empty it, and then you're getting attacked by a human with Archmage and Footman, that you actually minus 280 damage to your own demon by mana burning creeps twice.
Yeah, yeah. So I've had a lot of games where I then get attacked and there's no juice in the pool.
Yep.
That explains it. Okay. Because I've noticed, like, I've felt it in some of my games, it feels a bit inconsistent, where I have way more juice sometimes, and I've played mostly similar, but that's gotta be it.
Yeah, that's it. So if you ever showed up with half-life and this much mana, and you know Moonwell juice is going to be a problem because you're going to be under attack soon, get a clarity, drink it, wait till it's full. Let's say we're 100 health. We're waiting here with 70% mana and 100 health only.
Yep.
And then once we're full, or full enough, for however long time is allowed, then we heal, and then that's going to help a lot. So this clarity, it reads regenerate mana, but actually clarity is a key item for Night Elf in general, because it can restore hundreds of points of health this way.
Yeah. That's a very good point. Makes the Moonwell way more efficient.
Yep. Another thing is, if you're 0 mana, you find Mana Pot, you don't have second hero, you're under a massive attack, and your Moonwells are all half full, just insta-guzzle the greater Mana Pot. You go from empty to full, and now all your Moonwells are suddenly amazing for healing. Whereas before, they would have just given you more immolation, but not much health.
That's actually a super important detail. Huh. Okay. That's really nice. Yeah, that's good.
Nice.
So would you mana burn this priest at all? Like, obviously right now it's not really very useful, right? But hypothetically, like, you just start this camp.
I would, but I would do it only if I'm full, not if I'm half.
Okay, yeah.
So I can get that regen running. And I would do it only once, never twice.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Additionally, what helps a lot in Warcraft 3 is being specific about your positioning. So you can position like this, left click, and move them all in place and go around. That may feel like it's like 3 or 4 seconds of setup, but it's better if you start attacking the priest with everything at the same time, because you may be able to prevent him from using Inner Fire twice. And that's going to make you a lot faster at farming the camp than if you say, oh, I should always be in a rush, I'm going to start the camp, but now he Inner Fires the entire camp, which is plus 30% health, plus 30% health, plus 30% health.
Right, yeah. That actually makes a lot of sense too, yeah.
Yeah. Let's go discover a couple of more creep camps, because there are many things that you will need to learn.
They usually seem to be quite consistent, right? Is it usually, like, for example, these type of Gnoll camps, are they, like, I don't know if there's maps that have this exact same setup, but are they usually, if you have a Gnoll camp on orange like this, are they pretty much always identical?
Not per se. There's also custom community maps being made. They try to follow a lot of the patterns and themes that feel like best practice to not fuck the player up too much. Sorry, I don't know if you have cursing on your channel.
Sure, no worries.
If you don't, I'll say fudge.
It won't fucking happen again, it's okay.
All right, cool. Yeah, there's a lot of recognizable patterns, indeed. But this is one of the harder natural camps on the game. This map is called Concealed Hill, and it's also in the tournament. This camp is tricky because there's 2 assassins. They have poison on their auto attack.
And they poison everything if they can, right?
Yes, how do you know? You saw it?
I've had it happen to me. If they get multiple shots, they will... I don't know if they reapply the dot, but it seems that they prioritize applying the dot to each individual unit.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. And the poison lasts longer on units than heroes. So what will happen is basically every creep in the game has priority to attack whatever is nearest, which they can attack. That's their number 1 priority. But then there's many modifiers that change behavior. And I know a lot of people in my chat and yours, they're going to be like, it's too nerdy, it's too deep, it's too advanced, this doesn't matter yet. It does. Because like I said, half the game is PvE. So being able to creep efficiently is super important, and you will win games because of it. So let's explain the creeps. Like you said, they try to apply dot to everyone. So what's going to happen if I creep this is that these... Oh, hold on. Sorry.
It's okay.
I made it night, but apparently making it night makes it day then night. I tried to keep it night because I saw it was going to be daytime soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to keep it night.
No, I think going in depth with it is useful because this is the type of stuff that's very repeatable. You know, like there's a lot of like knowledge for fights that is very useful, but this is the type of thing that you can effectively apply every game.
Yes, correct. Okay, so what's going to happen when I attack these creeps is that all of them will initially attack Demon because she is nearest. He is nearest. I don't know why it always turns on female voice for me. He's nearest, and he's the one that starts the attack. So they will first attack him. Then, these Gnoll assassins have a playbook, like you said, of spreading their dot. So they will both attack the demon, and then they will go for the nearest aggroing unit that doesn't yet have poison. So they'll go to Hunters 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Once those are all poisoned, they will go back to the demon who have lost the poison buff already. And if everyone is poisoned, they're allowed to revert to the second step of priority of picking, which is proximity and other rules.
Okay.
Their first directive is always poison the world.
Makes sense.
Okay. There are more mechanics here. Gnoll Warden casts a Purge. And the Mud Golem casts a Slow. Both of them slow. Slow slows and Purge slows. How do slows work with creeps? Neutral creeps will favor attacking anything that's slowed. They will gang up in ways that are unpredictable if you don't understand why it's happening. And you will lose units because of it. Every tournament participant in this invitational and the previous one is constantly losing units to creeps because they don't know that a slowed unit draws aggro from everyone. So they'll move it away, thinking that they've shook aggro, but while it's slowed, it goes back into battle, and it will get retargeted because it's slowed. That's why you need to know it. Let's watch it. He will do Purge, and he will only ever purge heroes when the other units are ranged. So he likes to purge summons, any summon, ranged or melee, or he will purge melee. So summons and melee, that's what he will purge. He will never purge archers or hunters. That means archers and hunters will never be target fired because of Gnoll Warden, but they will be target fired because of Mud Golem.
Okay.
Okay, so what you're going to see is that the poisoners, the assassins, will target everyone and then go back to demon. He will purge only the demon. These two are melee, so they will only focus the demon. Poison the demon. Poison Huntress. He wants to poison a Huntress he couldn't reach, so he goes around. These two are poisoned. He realizes this guy is aggroing, poison him. Now back to the demon, because he lost the buff. And he keeps focusing the demon, because this guy is apparently not in aggro range, this Huntress. And the other three Hunts are still poisoned. So he stays hitting the final target that he poisoned. But now he switches to the top Huntress again, because as she wasn't poisoned and finally came in, switched to that one. So it's actually perfect to open this camp with Demon, pre-poison, switch to all the units, and then back to Demon, and then it stays on the Demon, because Demon is the last attacked poison target. Again, this was a good way to creep the camp. We first killed the backline that have special effects, like Poison, Purge, and Poison. We went for the melee last, because melee are not without damage, but they are tanks. We took most of the damage on Demon Hunter. Hunters are notoriously difficult to heal. And now we take these two and we go heal up, and that's that camp.
So, yeah, this one, I guess the two that you killed first, they are not units with mana, right? But they're still sort of in the activated ability category. Because previously you said healer first, mana unit, but it's yeah, makes sense.
You're right. Your ability users and mana havers, therefore
that's what it is. Yes, that's the category.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Now I'm going to show you something more. This is kind of advanced mechanics, but you're going to love it, and it's going to help you a lot.
This is very nerdy. I don't know how much use I have in a lot of my own games for this, but I do find it very interesting. So we can, keep this going.
And I'm glad you asked. You asked me about creep mechanics. I was like, hell yeah, let's go.
You didn't go to school, or at least not to university, but you got your creep PhD here. It's nice.
Yep.
You've been studying this for decades.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Now, I explained to you about troll trappers doing ensnares on 600 radius entering units.
Yes.
Not sure if it's not aggroed yet.
Okay.
See, because I'm essentially breaking the rule I just explained.
Yeah.
Correct? But
What
it's
if you
'cause
build
he's
an
not
Ancient of War here, though? I guess then it's a structure?
It's okay.
Huh.
Why can I build Ancient of War here and they don't wake up? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Oh, I thought when I was watching you watch the video, I thought you missed this already.
So, you said there was like a little box around it, but the box was slightly bigger than what you just indicated, no?
I made a box maybe like this. This is the non-aggro radius. This is the aggro radius roughly for AOWs.
Okay.
So I'm allowed to build here. They don't wake up.
That feels so close to me.
Super close, right? You said you had a couple of games where you made AOW and they woke up.
Yes.
And I gave you 2 exception rules when you can't build nearby. This was in the video, but you talked over it when you watched your.
Oh no! Did I? Oh.
You missed it, and then you asked chat, did you miss anything? And they didn't tell you either. So I thought, okay, I'll make a mental note. I'm gonna tell you later.
Okay. Please tell me. Yes.
Okay. Write down the. Were your university professors this turn?
I don't remember specifically. That there wasn't a whole lot of one-on-one, you know.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Lowko is lying. Twitch chat would
you.
never fail you. All right, guys.
Okay, write down the 2 exceptions.
I've got them right here.
Camp is protecting a gold camp. Exception number 1.
Okay.
Creep camp contains a level 7 creep or above.
Okay.
That gives them this big of an aggro radius. Sideways.
Do any of the orange camps have level 7 creeps?
This one's 6. So I should be able to build an Ancient of War here. But let's see if I lied. Maybe Fountain will also have a defensive aggro radius. Let's see.
There's a 3rd exception.
Okay. Red.
I mean, you wouldn't want to AoE creep that one anyways, I guess, but...
No. Red camps, okay?
Yeah.
Red camps are an exception. Damn it! I thought I had all the rules. So this is a red camp, and it's a gold mine. So you super can't do this.
Right. Oh, so then it's actually like, okay.
Yeah.
So I guess, is that mostly... Is that like a balance exception, do you think they've made? Like, just so you can't do a super stupid fast expansion as Night Elf?
Yes, that's exactly it. Otherwise, you could just build Tree of Life here.
Yeah, you would just expand it like 2 minutes.
Yes, and you're right. It is a recent balance change when TFT came out. Because in Reign of Chaos in 2002, people did a lot of tower creeping and expanding on locations. So in 2003, they removed the ability to do that.
That's the recent patch?
Yep. It feels like yesterday.
Well, you guys recently got a new patch announcement, okay? That's...
True. Okay, check this out. They're...
I checked it out.
Wait, I wasn't ready. That normally doesn't happen.
Well, 2003 is like 7 years ago, right? So it's pretty recent.
I hope it doesn't happen again. I don't know why it happened to. Okay, look. Can you not do this with wisps? I guess you can't do it with wisps.
I don't know. I don't really know what you're trying to do.
Starbucks says get closer to Mud Golem. Oh. Thanks, Starbuck. You want to jump on the cult?
We have another creep PhD in the chat. Very nice.
He is a super nerd. I think he even wears glasses. Okay. You sent him closer to the mud golem, Starbuck! Maybe it works with Huntress. Debated. Yeah, thanks, man.
Do you think it was an actual
Okay.
debate though, or he just got it wrong too?
I think he got it wrong too.
Yeah.
He's the second best player in Europe right now. Okay, the point is, you can do this with Huntress. Maybe you can do it with Archer as well. Watch what happens. Watch what is not happening.
He's not trapping.
No trapping, no slows, no inner fire, no heals, and no rock golem boulders.
So they use no abilities?
Yeah. So why is this happening? Creeps have a maximum aggro radius. They will pull about this far away, maybe this far.
Mm-hmm.
And once they reach the limit of their chasing, which is limited by time since leaving OG spot.
Right? So if they don't fully reset.
It means they will actually go further if they get Bloodlust. Because it's not based on distance, but time since leaving OG spot. So there is a limit. It roughly usually goes this far. Once they reach the max, they will attempt to go back to their exact respective leash location where they spawned from. While they're on the way back, once they pass the halfway mark, you can re-engage them and they will start attacking you, which we did here. And in that mode, they have no spellcasting abilities whatsoever, only auto attacks.
I see.
Very
So only when they reset
ancient
fully
arts.
is when they re-engage using abilities?
After you know, yeah, exactly. Let's say if I re-engage them right here, fair fight, no spells. Here, fair fight, no spells. But if the rock golem makes it exactly here, then he will start casting spells again.
So it's each individual unit too? It's not like the whole camp?
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
there's no solidarity in that. It's each individual unit, just like you said.
Huh.
Now, it takes a bit of time to pull a creep camp away, and it doesn't work on everything. But especially for some camps, it is extremely worth it because Rock Golem Boulder, 100 damage plus a stun. Slow, makes every unit target fire your Huntress, obnoxious. Makes you vulnerable to creep jacks because you're slowed and stunned. Inner fire slows you down, heal slows you down, and snare slows you down. Right? Everything slows you down, and so the time investment is actually worth it.
So is
If
this
I
like
try
a
the
full
same
standard? Like, is this like what happens every time you try to creep a camp like that?
Very, very, very common. There are some downsides. If I pull a camp here, someone that passes by and wouldn't have found me
Right.
will now see what I'm doing. Right, so you don't always want to do it. If I'm discreetly stealing enemy laboratory, then I may not do it because I don't want passerby to find me.
Right.
But overall, I would say it's quite standard. High-level players do this all the time, and I've seen some tourney participants have also started to do this. Dendy did this in the previous tournament, and I think Tommy K is doing it as well.
Okay.
Already, so it's definitely something that you want to keep in mind, both as an attacker and defender of such a mechanic. Humans are going to do this. Now, what happens if I try to do the same here? Oh shit, I have to cheat. Restart. If I try to do the same here, then... So creeps will... If you auto-attack a creep, they all will cast their spells, which changes their behavior, temporarily resets their threat location. The cool thing about moving a Huntress in, which apparently is a valid unit, whereas a Wisp is not, you move in, but you don't attack the creeps, and then you move away, they all follow, they're not mad yet. If you attack them, they get mad, they throw and snare, rock, and slow, inner fire, etc. Then it's fucked. Then it's messed up, sorry. Then, if I show up here, I don't do attacks, because it's daytime and because they all cast their spells. They do this, okay. So, because I didn't do any damage, the Troll Priest doesn't cast heals.
I see.
But because the Ogre Mage came from original location, he is now going to cast Bloodlust. But watch what the Troll Priest isn't doing. He's not healing, and he's not casting additional Inner Fire. So, depending on who chases away from OG location, it may work better or worse. So that's just something to keep in mind, something you can play around with. If you notice a cramp has a lot of spells, you can try to do a pull.
So what if it's nighttime? Do you have to deal damage?
Yes, except creeps that never sleep.
Oh, so those camps always... I see. Okay.
Yeah. However, the behavior for camps at nighttime is a little different. This is actually going too deep for you right now. Just believe from me that this camp cannot be done at night in the same way. They behave differently. Yeah, it's
Okay.
just it sucks. What can you do?
So can you show one more time how you set it up?
Yep.
Like in a normal game, what it would somewhat look like?
Yeah, let's go to another map and show. Let's see. What's it called? The map. Springtime, I think.
I find it interesting, Gene. It's obviously a lot of this is going to be very difficult to implement in a game, but I still, the nerd in me finds this very fun.
And let's talk about some more efficient mechanics, or let's say more relevant mechanics as well. This is all relevant, and it will remain very relevant, but there will also be some specific actionable things immediately.
You never use this at 1600 MMR? Well, maybe you need to.
Yeah. Look, you can a lot of people have an instinctive resistance against this type of thing because they find it intimidating to remember these things, and so they rather just not bother with it, which is an uncompetitive mindset, which is fine. You don't have to be competitive, but every single thing that you learn that makes you better will make you advance as well. Yeah, I could come here and just teach you play Mass Huntress every game, and you will get more wins now, but it won't make you a lot better.
Right.
In the long run. Okay, so let's say, for instance, I'm using Huntresses, but usually you'll have Archers. Let's say you're creeping this. First of all, we're going to pull it back a bit to let the melee come forward, and then we can slide in behind. Now we've got Immolation on 3 creeps.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If I didn't pull back the Mammoth, then I don't have space to immolate all the creeps. The more units get immolated at the same time, the more DPS we do, the less damage we take, the faster we farm, and the faster we can go to the next spot.
Right.
While we're taking this camp, we can send a Wisp here, pull it in. So we're not even wasting army time. We're going to go here. And of course, this is too late. Ideally, they're on their way back by the time we get here. So you can play around with the timing. Then we re-engage. And now we're going to make sure that everything is, again, immolation range. He casts Rejuvenation when he gets to quarter life.
Right.
Which gives like 200 to 400 health or whatever. That's going to make you creep slower. He doesn't rejuvenate because he's been pulled to max and returning home. And you re-engaged him on the final half of his return journey. That makes you creep this faster. You get more gold, more XP, more items, more abilities. And more speed around the map. Better timings, etc.
So would you normally do this with a Wisp? Like, is this the actual unit you would use for it?
Yes. This is the actual... I showed a practical example now because I know Andy's in chat are going to get impatient with deep theory mechanics. So now I'm giving you a fruit instead of teaching you how to grow a fruit tree. This is the actual fruit. We did this camp. While doing it at the right timing, we pull this camp here on this map called Springtime, which... Is it actually in the tournament? I think it is.
I'm not sure exactly.
This is also a test.
So
this is a test. You failed it. It's in the
I
map.
have vetoed all the vetoed maps I could. We were not playing. That's what I've done. But would you do this, I guess, with the scouting worker? I guess that's the most logical thing.
Well, the scouting worker, what I usually do with Elf. So for Elf, minute 145 to 215 is one of the hardest moments in the game. Because at once, you're doing Ancient of Wonders trick. Don't last hit with AOW, manage your archer, maybe repair with Wisp, take your hero out, check enemy hero, which comes out at the same time as yours, and you get your second Moonwell, shop, cancel. You're going to have games where you do the shop trick, you forgot to cancel it. There's all kinds of funny things that can go wrong. You can lose your AOW, so it really is a hard time for Elf, those 30 seconds from 0145 to 215. So, your Scout Wisp at this time is checking their opening hero. Like this. You're checking, and then quickly you put it on some tree far away, okay? Meanwhile, you're creeping while not last hitting with AOW. And then as you're doing that, you take another Wisp, not your Scout Wisp, and you do this pull.
Yeah, that is a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And you'll see what you can handle. Now, this camp is freaking hard. Inner Fire, Heal, Fairy Fire, which debuffs your armor. If you take this camp on location, you will, like everyone else that tries this camp first time, get completely smacked. We'll do 2 hits so that everyone follows. Almost everyone. Okay, that kind of failed. They all went back home.
Yeah, so now the healer would still be healing and inner firing and stuff.
Okay, we get Fairy Fired by the guy. That's why he stays, because he Fairy Fired. So he has to follow, actually. Why does he stay? Because he casts a spell. Because just like units...
He's immobile for a bit, yeah.
Yeah, he's immobile, and then it resets his command queue. So in Warcraft 3, just like in SE2, units always have one command. I do this, A left click, I'm on A move. When they're done, they revert to an idle state where they acquire any commands, correct?
Yeah.
And if I tell him to move here and I attack the sheep instead, I've reset moving here, and now he only has one command, and now he's idle, which means he will engage enemies. If they come near, he may even chase, unless he's on hold. I know you know this because of StarCraft 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same for creeps. The moment I attack the creep, he has attack move towards me, which means he will auto-acquire a demon as a target. But he also has an additional directive to cast Fairy Fire whenever possible on units that don't have Fairy Fire on them. So if I want the Furbolg tracker not to cast 4 Fairy Fires on all of my units during this fight, I have to attack once, he fairies me, attack again, or be near enough that he can draw proximity aggro.
Yeah. And now,
So now
when they
everyone
return
is
home, he's
following.
not going to cast.
Now he's not going to do Fairy Fires on the Huntress. But notice how he's not turning around until the second half of his return journey. He turned around before he got there. He's not recasting Fairy Fire on Demon Hunter. He's not casting Fairy Fire on Huntress. Because he's on the return half, the final return half.
Right. How come he walked all the way back to the camp first and then re-engaged?
He must reach the halfway point.
Okay.
So he will go this far.
Oh, it's for each individual halfway point? Like for each unit's
Yes.
halfway point? Ah,
Yes.
okay. So he didn't get too far yet compared to the other units.
Yeah. So he goes this far. He shows up all the way over here. I re-engage him here. It fails. And if I try to re-engage him here thinking he'll turn around, then it will not only fail, but you may even be out of range to get another auto in to re-aggro him before he gets to original position.
I see. Yeah, that's going to be a lot
So
of practice to give, this
Yeah.
an actual implementation in the game. But it's very good info. Also, if I would see an opponent doing it, right? Like that also is a...
Yes. You will be able to understand what's happening in those messy creepjack situations
Right.
where you and an opponent are fighting over camps. Now you'll be able to make better predictions about how the creeps are going to behave.
Very cool. Yeah.
And I need to teach you something else very important, which is both related to creeps as well as PvP, which will be absolutely crucial. There are proximity aggro rules. Whoever's nearest will be attacked. If a creep is ensnared by a trapper, it drops all threat. So even though the Huntress is nearest when he gets ensnared, no one will attack him because he is ensnared. Ensnared has the lowest threat on the entire table.
Okay.
Which is the exact opposite of a slowed unit, which I explained on the previous map, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something to keep in mind. And
It's
then
the same for
there
like
are
Entangle, right? From the Keeper of the Grove?
Yep. True. If a unit is entangled, no one will automatically attack that unit. Okay, so what I'm going to teach you now is about more priority aggro, or more aggro rules with creeps. So if I go in here and I right-click this wolf, who is going to get attacked, you think?
I'm assuming the closest by unit, right? Which would be the Demon Hunter.
True. And will there be any reason for them to switch aggro away from the demon to the huntresses, you think?
I'm trying to think what each individual unit does. I don't know what the unit at the bottom does. No, I know
guy?
this priest, the Sasquatch. Yeah, I'm not sure what that thing does, but...
Nothing. He's just a dude.
Okay. So I don't think they have any reason to, right?
Yep, correct. You are correct. The demon will be attacked until the end. Now, if I go in with demon first, like this, and then the huntresses, and we do an attack like that, everything you said will come to pass. Even if my huntress moves closer to the trapper, which would normally, like, let's say if they woke up now and I didn't start the attack, who would attack who?
I would imagine the trapper at the top attacks the huntress, and everything else would attack the demon hunter.
Yes, that's also completely correct.
Okay.
So if it is night and I open attack with demon now on the wolf, you agree that the trapper would attack the demon because he's first to aggro the camp.
Yeah, so is he considered more aggro at that point? What if you attack with the huntress? If you attack with the huntress on the wolf, the trapper would engage
the huntress.
The huntress, yes. But I guess then at that point the demon hunter would kick in and the rest would re-aggro onto the demon?
Units never re-aggro unless they have a bespoke reason to do so, which would be something like the unit that used to be in range, which I was aggroing, has gone out of range. Then they will re-aggro. Or they have done something to break their chain of command, which is this trapper is attacking demon because I'm opening a hit here, right? So he starts attacking demon. If he now throws an ensnare because this huntress came from here, he goes back to an idle mind state. Right. He forgot that he's attacking demon because he just ensnared the huntress. So then he will revert to old rules, which is find a unit that is slowed, attack it. There's no unit that's slowed? Okay, then I'll go to proximity aggro, which is this huntress.
Yeah.
Yeah. So an experienced player will see an ensnare from a trapper on anything. Could be enemy scout, and immediately make a minute change to his huntress position, because hunters have unarmored, take extra from piercing. That's inefficient. That's going to get you units killed. And then realize, by looking at the board state, the game state, that the huntress is going to get attacked by the trapper.
Yeah. So how would you go about engaging this particular camp then? Because you always do want to be in... You do always want to be attacking... Yeah. So it's actually worth setting this sort of thing up. Like, I never really take the time for this.
Of course not. You're in a rush. Everyone is. And you think that rush... But just like in real life, sometimes haste makes waste.
Yeah, no, it's not wrong.
Okay. Let's go back to this state one more time. Let's say that I do have this trapper attacking the huntress. There are two things that I could do to fix aggro. This trapper is attacking the huntress. This is undesirable. How do we fix it?
Sorry, I was just writing it down real quick. Sorry, what were you?
All good. You can always ask for time and I'll wait.
I was just writing down, be more patient with creeping and set up the fight first. It's
easier at night, but even in the day, even if it was day, I would still do like this. Go in, make sure demon takes the hit, go in with the rest, try to slide it behind, and then keep hitting this. Oh yes, set up. Okay. Now, how do we reset aggro? There's two ways to do it. Either we move the huntress out of the 500 attack radius, which means he can't attack it anymore. And then he will go revert to the nearest proximity, which is Demon Hunter. But there's another way. Creeps attack things that threatens them. So if I open here, you'll see that the trapper initially was going to attack the demon. I don't know if you saw that. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw.
But then he threw a net. And then he was going to re-aggro on the top huntress. I don't know if you saw all that, but it went pretty fast.
Yeah, it went pretty fast.
I'll show it again.
So I know you can attack your own units to reduce, I guess, the threat perception.
Okay, you know that already.
Well,
dude, what the
I don't know
how is happening.
What is going on there? You get a plate master with the altar of elders now. Sick.
Okay, sure. Wait, maybe I have a rigged map.
Your cheat codes are really
What?
New cheat code unlocked somehow. I don't know how that happened. Wow, okay, undead now.
Okay, well shit. I think I'm on a rigged map. Like, this is meant for all the random tournament. Do you want a rigged map in the tournament? We can make something happen.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it'd be beneficial, but I'm not sure.
Springtime. I don't know which one is real.
This one says W3 champions in the top right.
Okay, good.
So I've been told that you can attack your own units to reduce the, I guess, perceived threat, but I don't really know exactly how to like implement it properly.
Yeah. So you've been told that. That's great. Very useful. So if I start the attack like this, Demon Hunter on Wolf, what will happen is because it's nighttime and she is the first aggressor, all creeps will attack the demon, including this trapper, despite proximity. So opening a creep camp with demon is useful because she's a great tank. He's a great tank. And but then the troll trapper has a directive throwing and snare, which will go on. Like when a night creep camp gets woken up, the trapper opens with ensnare, even though they didn't go into the 600 radius. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's another rule. There's many rules. You won't know them all. I'm telling you now. But yeah, night camps with trappers will open with an ensnare, and he just goes to the nearest. Because he throws an ensnare, he will reset aggro away from the demon because his mind is in a blank state.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next unit that's near is this second huntress who he doesn't ensnare. So what you will see is he will target the demon, instantly get inner fired, throw an ensnare, and then target the other huntress. Target the demon, throws an ensnare, targets the nearest unit. It was not the nearest huntress, by the way. It feels pretty fucking random. Maybe it's the first huntress that attacks after demon. This is undesirable. You see how much damage the huntress is taking?
Yes.
So what we're going to do, we're going to take this huntress, issue an attack on our own huntress. For just a little bit.
Yeah, do you need the
Now I'm
attack
gonna-
to complete for it to fully work?
No. Depends on their attack speed. Demon attacks so fast, generally it will.
Ah, okay. So basically its state has to be reset to non-threat, and at that point they switch.
Yes. Once the demon attacks my own huntress, the creeps think, oh, demon is our friend.
Right.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So we make ourselves an enemy to our own huntress.
Yeah.
So what's happening now, let's say in this current state, the game reads huntresses as neutral and demon as friendly to creeps.
Yeah, exactly.
And that starts to be true based on some server tick rate, anywhere from like a quarter second to 3/4 seconds or whatever. Before you issue an attack, it's already true. It's also true if I attack my own tree of life.
Oh, okay. So, like even if you just queue the attack up,
Yes. It could be on your own unit because it's on your own screen. That makes
just
it easy.
closer by,
But
it's just more convenient. Yeah.
it can also be the enemy tree of life.
Huh.
Right? So long as you are attacking any player-controlled unit or building from anyone, your own, someone else's.
The game has so many funny quirks. It's just,
It's very funny.
yeah. So one thing I always do in my own games, I never, in this situation, I would always have my entire control group start the fight. If I understand correctly, you never do that, right? You start the fight using the hero.
Yes. So what I will do, what I will usually do is I take my entire control group and I move it near a camp during daytime. And then I press F1, which is my demon. Do you use F1?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Then I will approach a camp like this. 1, right click, F1, right click.
Yeah, okay. That makes perfect sense.
And then I start the camp, F1, right click, 1, right click.
Yeah. Because I was thinking about it just now when you were doing the camp to the right of this, the east of this, where if I would have been in that exact same spot, I would have had all my huntresses selected together with the demon, and I would have attacked the thing in the middle.
Yep.
At which point...
It's terrible.
Yeah, that's garbage, yeah.
Okay,
But
I'm
that's a
gonna show you
really
something
small
now.
difference, though. All you need, yeah, I mean, it's one extra action, I guess. You have to select your hero. But you basically just let the Huntresses auto-attack at that point, right? Like or do you retarget with them the second wave?
I retarget everything
Okay.
because there's more to consider. Normal damage does bonus against medium. 50% bonus. Every ranged DPS has medium. Every melee has heavy. So
Okay.
I want Huntresses to attack trolls. And I want Demon to attack anything. It could be trolls. But let me ask you, who should Demon be attacking if we are not worried about how much damage we take? We're only worried about maximum creeping speed. How should we target this?
I'm assuming we go back to the original priority system, right? Where it's the healer first.
Look,
There's
let's
no healer
separate
here,
it.
so we go for the
Yeah.
mana?
Well, there is a combination of creeping efficiency we look for, which is minimum damage taken, maximum damage dealt.
Mm-hmm.
That's a combination goal.
Right.
What if I ask you, I don't care how much damage you take. I only want you to deal maximum damage.
I'm
So it's
assuming
about speed.
Yeah, you would want to go for the weakest unit first, and then move up.
Doesn't matter which one you go for first. You need to finish the whole camp. It's about damage types. If speed is the only concern, we fully prioritize damage type.
Do heroes do bonus damage to certain targets?
Nope.
So it doesn't really matter at that point, right?
True. But even if you don't do bonus damage, Huntresses do perform bonus damage.
Right. So you
So
would
if
want them on
Huntresses
the ranged units first.
Yeah, so if Huntresses deal with their preferred victims, then naturally Demon should attack not their preferred victims.
I see. Okay.
So if speed was the only concern, which it not necessarily is, Demon would go for either the Ogre Magi or the Polar Bear. Order doesn't matter. Huntresses would go for the ranged. And again, it doesn't matter if you kill them first. Let's say if I have 4 Huntresses and I feel that I can't fit 4 Huntresses on this troll, then I would do 2 on this troll, 2 on this troll. Why is that effective? Because I asked you to creep it the fastest. And travel time is minus time.
Makes sense. What did that bunny do to you, by the way?
It's body blocks. So I would do this. Now there's another concern. There is another concern. Namely, if I kill creeps one by one, and there's 1 creep left, then Huntresses lose their bounce attack.
I see.
Which is another DPS draw. Yeah, so damage types matter, and also damage reduction on self matters as well. Now, when you meet an enemy that is creeping a camp, or he meets you when you're creeping a camp, if you want to be the one that's not attacked, you need to drop yourself on the threat table. Let's say that this is you, and this is an enemy. I take this, and I attack my own tree when walking away. He also walks away. But normally, who's getting attacked?
I see.
His unit is getting attacked. And we're not even being chased.
Huh.
Because we've made our entire army non-aggro by attacking our own tree of life. He's running away. Every single creep that has a slow, a poison, a purge, and snare, they will all screw over his unit.
That's such a strange reflex to build up, though. Like, the panic moment is to first attack your own tree of life with your army, whilst it's on the other side of the map.
Most people will just do rectangle click, and then start walking away. But you can become a master of creeps. By just learning this habit.
Yeah. For completely newbie question, is there a base camera hotkey like there is in StarCraft 2? I meant to look into settings, but I haven't.
Backspace.
It's just backspace? Okay.
Yeah.
That feels...
I use it a lot.
Yeah,
Feels
yeah,
weird.
it's very useful. It's the same as StarCraft 2. Like the default is also backspace. I should rebind it to something else, I guess, if it's possible.
Yeah, maybe you can. I still use it, but it would probably be good if you could rebind it. It's
Yeah.
very useful. But it doesn't work on your second base, I think.
Okay. Well, I guess you mostly need it on your main.
Yeah, I think so.
In StarCraft, I
usually
have it
put
bound
my
to spacebar because you use it for like queen injects. So you use it all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Zerg
okay.
has to do that. Oh,
Oh, that's
backspace does go to all your trees.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, maybe you can use that too. Okay,
I
that
will do
was
that,
a lot
yeah.
of creep theory. I hope I've opened your third eye about.
There's a lot of possibilities for sure. Like there's a lot of
Yeah.
like you could practice this, for 3 weeks in custom games just to just focus on creeping and the exact mechanics.
Yes, you don't need an opponent.
No.
So let's talk about a few very specifically actionable things. You focus healer, then DPS, then spellcaster, then tank. You don't want units to take bonus damage from creeps. So huntresses don't want to be hit by ranged. Dryad don't want to be hit by ranged. Very painful.
Mm-hmm.
And archers don't want to be hit by tanks, by melee.
Makes sense.
Because normal does bonus against medium. Bears don't care who they're hit by at all from any camp.
Okay.
And same with mountain giants. Air is not really a concern. So the main thing is don't let archers and hunters ever be hit by piercing. Immediately correct the situation. And don't ever let archers get hit by melee. And that's also true for PvP. Whenever archers get hit by melee, you have only one choice. Move them back until they stop getting attacked. Then turn around and fire. You're never trading and standing still.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Cool.
would you,
That
for
was a lot
creep
of
camps,
theory.
mostly attack move on your own units to reset?
Yes.
Because it seems more efficient.
It seems easier than panning all the way back with backspace, right?
Right. Or to
I
run
don't
the
want
unit away, I mean. Because I've been running the unit
Yes.
away to switch aggro, but...
Yeah, I've seen you do that, and that's okay.
It just seems less... Yeah, it seems easier to just...
It is easier. Sometimes you'll accidentally do an attack. It's probably still better.
Okay, yeah, so you
And I'm making
switched it
them-
a couple times there without actually ever throwing the glaive.
Yes, correct. And there's something else you should know. The final thing to this lesson, okay? Then it'll be pretty much complete. Every unit that is performing a PvP action attack drops on the threat table, which makes creeps... which makes creeps... it makes creeps attack anyone else that is not performing a PvP attack. It makes them attack that. So, 3 Huntress, PvP my own tree. That means any of my 3 archers will be attacked by creeps. Agree?
Right, yes.
Because they're not part of that group. So then they revert to their next rule set, which is proximity aggro. Is there any slow on them? Which archer will be attacked is the one that's nearest.
Mm-hmm.
Which means it's RNG or down to additional mechanics.
We need
However-
more mechanics, Grubby.
There are more mechanics. That's what we really need.
We need like an extra layer.
Yes, let's add an extra layer. So, if I put everything equally near, roughly, and I open the attack with archer, they will all attack that archer. Then if I make this archer attack my altar, who will be attacked? Maybe various different ones. See?
Yeah.
He attacks nearest to him, etc. But if I want to decide who gets attacked, I take all.
That you don't want to
And I
have
say-
attacked. Ah.
Yeah. I take all that I don't want to have attacked, and I attack the final guy.
I see. Okay. I didn't realize you could do this with multiple units selected. That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. So if I have 2 units that are nearly dying, I make all of them attack my altar, and then, hey, look, it's going to the one that I don't have selected.
Ah.
So I want you to know you have absolute control over who they attack.
Yeah.
So you should never lose, and I will be watching. You should.
Well, because I have absolute control, I also have absolute control to fuck it up. But
I will be watching. You should never lose any units to creeps.
makes sense. Yeah, I'll try my best. I lost some bears to creep camps yesterday, so I don't know, dude.
Oh, we're done. We're done here. All good. It happens to everyone. Some more than others.
Now, in the late game, it feels. I think this is mostly. Obviously, it's still applicable in the late game too. But obviously, especially early on, we don't have a lot of units. There's a lot more variety, right? Like later on in the game.
Yeah, once you have 5 bears, you need to take effort to lose units to creeps, and you won't be doing as much of it. But by the way, this thing that I teach you about creeps also works on players. If an enemy attack moves, their units are like creeps.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
If you're playing against an undisciplined, unwashed barbarian,
like myself, yes.
and they're just exactly, and they're just A moving with Chimera, you can choose who the Chimera attack by doing attack this archer. Advanced micro. Okay, what do you know about body blocking?
That's really nice if you're high MMR up against like low, ELO players, but
what do you know about body blocking?
I know that I tried getting a surround on heroes a couple times and I never got it.
Okay.
I've managed to save an archer once or twice by like blocking it with my hero while it's being chased. That seems to be a bit easier. But getting a full surround is very tricky.
Okay, there are 2 mechanics. I teach this usually quite early to everyone in the beginning because they are absolutely key skills. Some of the tournament participants are going to put no effort into body blocking and surrounds, and some of them are. And you can win games by micro, even if you fail on all of the other win conditions. Win conditions include high-level heroes, fast expansion, fast tech and unit timings, all-in, defending an all-in, maybe 1 or 2 more. And I'll send you the list. Let's say there's about 7 big win conditions. But the 8th win condition is winning in even or uneven odds thanks to micro. So it's absolutely worth investing time into. And here's how it looks like. Hold on, let me deal with these. Actually, I don't need to deal with these. Here's how it looks like. We've got 2 huntresses that have equal movement speed. In Warcraft 3, when you give a command to right-click here, the game recognizes it and basically draws an arrow that has him move there. It's a single command. If their path gets blocked, it will recalculate a path around. Yes. And it will essentially recalculate and start doing multiple shift commands. Like this, and then this, and then this, and then this.
Yeah.
But a bit smoother than I showed, correct?
Yeah.
Now, units in Warcraft 3 are mostly kind of like squares. They look like circles, but they're actually squares. And it is difficult to move a square corner. Like the bottom right corner of this huntress has difficulty moving past the top left corner of this huntress.
Like the game perceives, like the engine perceives it as a square?
Kind of, yes. So if I try to move here, he kind of does an exaggerated up and then right, because this corner has trouble moving past this corner. And the way that can be abused...
Do they never walk diagonals like that, though?
They can't really walk diagonally. A little bit. They can walk a little bit diagonally. So he keeps recalculating and trying to get past, but then when he tries to recalculate, there's another unit in his way again and again and again. And because he's thinking about it, he tries it for a bit, then recalculates around it. So I take a unit that has 350 movement speed, and I can make it like 50 movement speed by repeatedly blocking. So that can be very powerful.
Yeah.
When you're attacking something with Dryads, and you're like, hey, let me actually quickly take this archer. So this is control group 1. And I see his hero moving to the right. Then I think, oh, okay, hold on 1 sec, sorry.
No worries.
Okay, so let's say there's a Huntress coming, and we see it, or this Huntress could be a hero, and I have my control group 1 right here, and this Huntress is going to the left. I will quickly do control 1, control 2. He's moving there. I attack him with 1, and then I take 2, and I try to cut him off. And then I, with various success, will be able to block him. That's going to be a key killing mechanic, because a form of CC is entangle, a form of CC is body block. And you can save things with it, like you said as well. They're going for an archer, the Huntress is healthy, you use the Huntress to save the archer, etc.
Yeah. I've seen it especially be like on when you're chasing something with the Keeper of the Grove, and you're just barely out of reach of an entangle. That seems to be where it's most applicable in my games.
Yep, it's great. And also, after you entangle someone, you're chasing this guy, you click him, you entangle. Oh. We're chasing this guy, we entangle him, and then instead of just hitting him,
We run around.
we hit him from here, and then we body block and hit again, etc. Okay, the next thing to know is there are surrounds. And I'm teaching you this not just so that you can do a fancy surround in a hot moment when you need it most, etc., but so that you also understand why your units are getting body blocked in your own base, how to free your units, etc. Surrounds in Warcraft 3 are done via plus time.
Yeah, makes sense.
This is a surround, and now all I need to do is to select them all and press hold.
Well, I get the theory, yeah. So if you try to do the exact same thing from the corner pieces, it just runs away, right? Like, it feels really silly, but it can go literally any way.
It's completely impossible to surround in the four corners.
Yeah, okay, I see.
Right? So you think, oh, a unit is a circle, that means every side is equal. It's not.
Yeah, no,
North,
it's not.
East, Southwest dictates the body blocks. You see, she has a lot of freedom of movement, actually, but still cannot get out, because she is a square, and squares cannot move past each other's corners. Whereas the same units, even closer, squares can fit in almost any direction because their corners aren't touching.
Yeah. That's so funny, though. Like, the fact that all of these little quirks, like, it actually makes the game more fun, you know? It's like a developer that once upon a time wrote this, and he's like, fuck it, it's good enough. We'll run. We'll roll with this.
I think it's great.
Yeah, no, it's nice.
And the other way to surround is to do move, left click. So what happens when you move left click? For me, it's M. I don't know what it is for you. Could be Q.
I'm running grid, but I have Q. I have it. Some of it is flipped upside down. It might be Z. I'm not exactly sure.
It might be Z. I think you're right. It's Z. Okay. So if you use Z on a unit, here's what happens. Z on this Huntress. They're on follow. You've probably done this with, I don't know, units in StarCraft 2, Medivacs, or
Yeah.
Vikings maybe. They'll keep following. Yeah. And this is the max distance they stop at to initiate their follow command. About 300 range away.
Is that for every unit?
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
If you do a move, left click, or a right click on your own unit, which is the same, they'll stop at about 300 range. If you right click again, they scooch up to 150. And if you right click again, melee.
Huh.
The command is the same. They're still on follow. And once you create distance, they will follow at a respectful distance again. But it takes 3 clicks to go from 300 to 150 to 0.
Interesting.
Now, as you know from StarCraft, right clicks are contextual.
Yeah.
A right click on a building that has damage doesn't mean follow. It means repair.
Yeah. So you can surround your own units with just right clicks, but that's not as useful.
Correct. And I see you know where I'm going with this. If I right click an enemy, it's contextual, therefore is read as a what?
An attack move.
An attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So in order to surround an enemy, we must utilize move command.
Huh. So I don't think you ever, in StarCraft at least, I don't think you ever use a command
Correct.
card move command type of, you know.
Correct.
Click.
You don't need it there.
No. Can't think of a single situation where you would actually spam the ability. So you actually move over to like backspace on your keyboard and to like M on your keyboard to do this sort of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
But I am not a grid user because
Right.
I'm a boomer and I learned the wrong way and grid
fair
wasn't
enough.
available.
Right.
So after surrounding him, notice how none of the units are attacking because they're doing what a move command is. Which is not attack. Ignore enemy units, ignore enemy attacks, cause your unit to follow the target. So after we surround an enemy keeper of the grove with a spam of moves, we realize, hey, it's still open. We correct this keeper. And then we take all and we press hold. Hold wipes all previous memory, keeps them in position, and initiates attacks on anyone near enough, which happens to be the keeper.
Yeah.
And then they kill the keeper. So if you want to kill a hero, and you see an opportunity, and maybe you're already semi-surrounded, you could do this, do one move command, and then re-attack.
The move command is a tricky one.
It is.
Yeah.
But you don't even need move command per se. I'm teaching you two ways
If
to
you
do
have bears,
it.
I guess it's fine, right?
You can also do this. It's just an accuracy exercise if someone is standing still. Left click, right click, in northeast, southwest. I failed. Maybe you won't.
But yeah, I see what you mean here.
You
I
understand
thought you
the
were
point.
surrounding, trying to surround the hero. But yeah, I see.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that, but maybe it makes more sense.
Yeah.
If I want to surround, notice how it's hard to click on the terrain because I'm selecting Terrorblade.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, I will move past her. Press stop when I'm
you
above.
Overshoot. Yeah.
Then I take all, press hold. She's stuck. Another way to solve it is move your camera to the bottom. Now I can more easily click on the terrain above her.
Right.
You see how the perspective changes?
This is really nice in like isolation like this, but I feel like to have the clarity to, think about this while in a game is really, really hard.
Okay. All right. But it will be relevant too because sometimes you will creep a shop.
The theory is very relevant. Like the fact that they can only move, left, right, up, down is actually very interesting. I did not occur to me.
There will be other reasons it matters. If this polar bear drops an item and your camera is in the middle like this and you're creeping this, you won't see the item.
I've had that happen with a fountain, like an item on a fountain, and I couldn't find it.
Yep. So there's 3 things you can do. Pan the camera up so you can see more of the bear's butt, you see?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm using mouse wheel drag. And then there's also delete and insert. Same in StarCraft. I don't know if you use it there.
Those are hotkeys I use for casting all the time, so I can find those easily. M is a little bit more difficult, but yeah.
Oh, insert delete. Oh, for commentating.
Yeah, for casting games, I zoom in and scroll all the time.
Yeah. Okay, this was... Why did I teach you these mechanics today? Are they the most MMR benefit you can gain right now? No. I'm teaching you this because these are differences from StarCraft 2. I know you are a very good StarCraft 2 player. I've seen your preparation and I've seen your preparation, your study methods. I've seen you be able to draw conclusions during the game. I have put a lot of stock and faith into those. And these are mechanical challenges that you need to start on early to develop them. It takes a lot of effort to practice them. And it is a small gamble. Some people will be able to learn this or will prioritize it. Some won't. But I'm teaching you to give you the best chances to improve and develop a very important aspect of skill. Warcraft 3 has 3 skills. Play against your player. Play against the enemy. Like in fights. And manage your base and do creeps, which is PvE. And then the third one is micro. So I've taught you about creeping and creep AI. I've taught you about micro, about surrounds and body blocks. And the final part will be PvP, which will consume most of your time, but perhaps consumes most people's time more than it should compared to understanding micro and creeping.
Yeah. No, I can imagine if you get like one extra level up, and at my MMR it's very reasonable to expect that you can get an extra level on a hero by like level 5 or whatever. Like that's a huge difference.
Yes.
Like level 5 versus level 4 is massive.
And like I said, the top 4 from last tournament, they lose like 1, 2, 3, 4 creeps per game. 1, 2, 3, 4 units per game to creeps. And you will also lose units to creeps. The fewer you lose, the more it will help.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Deep
no,
theory.
this is very useful. I'm going to try and implement it in the game. It's you know, like obviously when you're playing, there's a lot of things to implement at the same time. So it's you know, going to take a little bit to actually implement a lot of this, I think. But
for sure.
Especially like the halfway across the screen pulling and then, you know, re-engage them when you're pulled back, like you were showing off with the second wisp that you pulled after. Yeah, at like, what was
the Huntress actually. Apparently you can't do it with a wisp on that camp.
Well, yeah, on that specific, but you did it on another camp with another wisp. It's funny how
that's true. That camp, because it has no ensnare. This camp.
Yeah.
You can always do it with a wisp if there's no ensnare and it doesn't die early enough.
But a lot of that is also very map specific, and it's
true.
Just knowing the maps. So I noticed, for example, one of the things that I do is spend a lot of time walking, which is entirely inefficient, right? Like having a plan for, like it's getting better, but having a plan as to how you move around is huge because it also allows more thinking about where the opponent might be located, which is not something I really consider right now at all.
Right. You're not thinking, where could my opponent be creeping?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like I spend a lot of time thinking about my current setup and what I could potentially be doing next. And I feel like if I play a lot more, at some point, that will go a lot quicker and you can actually start, you know, spending time on, for example, thinking about where your opponent is located.
Yes, that will come with time.
Yeah. I have one more general question.
Yeah.
I've seen a bunch of videos where you recommend going, for example, into the Naga for the second hero or the Panda for the second hero. Do you think that's worth it at all for me right now, or do you think I should just play Keeper of the Grove every game?
I think Naga is a relatively simple hero, but it requires you to prepare to buy from the tavern.
Mm-hmm.
Naga is super standard, and so is Keeper. I would say Naga even more so than Keeper because she's a little better against air.
Okay.
Let's say if you're Demon Keeper and an Orc goes Mass Wyverns, Keeper contributes nothing outside of maybe pinning down and killing ground heroes, which is all of them. There are no air heroes. Whereas Naga has a Frost Arrow and a Fork Lightning that can take down air. Can be quite nice. So I think it's worth for you not to go Panda yet, because it will be too hard. But Keeper and Naga are both valid options.
Okay. So do you have any specific like matchup recommendations where like I go, for example, Demon Hunter Keeper?
Yep.
Versus like
Night Elf versus...
Yeah, go ahead.
Night Elf versus Night Elf. Demon Keeper, Demon Naga is both good. Naga is slightly more aggressive. Keeper is slightly more about late game. Basically, Keeper at level 1 is better than Naga at level 1.
Okay.
In Night Elf Mirror. Then at level 2, 3, Naga is better again. But then at level 4, Keeper is better again.
Okay.
And there's one more thing. Naga comes out 75 seconds faster than Keeper, because Keeper has 55-second production time and then 20 seconds walk time to the middle of the map.
Right.
Whereas Naga starts on the middle of the map and has no production time. So if you're rushing or defending a rush, Naga could be better.
I see. Okay, yes.
Thorns is very powerful in bespoke situations. For Bear Mirror, it's very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
So Entangle and Thorns. And then it's also good against Orcs with Blade.
Like Blade Master?
Yeah, Blade Master, Grunts, and Raiders.
Okay. So you would say
if he only
versus
has
Orc,
Blade...
like Demon Keeper pretty much every time?
Yeah, Demon Keeper, I think it's better than Demon Naga against Orc, yeah.
No, so the reason I'm asking, like, I would like to play the same thing every game. And I can already kind of do it with, you know, Dryads and Bears. So I was thinking if I can just, you know, do a carbon copy of the exact same strategy every single match.
I'm just going to give you the rules now that you'll play with for now.
Okay.
Night of Human, Demon Naga, Night of, Demon Keeper, Night Elf versus Undead, Demon Naga, and Night Elf versus Orc. I would say it's hard because Entangle gets dispelled by Mirror Image, and Thorns doesn't work on Zerkers. It only works on Grunt Raider Blade. Because I don't know what matchup, like what units he's going to make, I'm hesitant to recommend Demon Keeper.
Okay.
And I would sooner say Demon Naga.
This was versus Orc specifically?
Yeah. I've written it on Discord as well. I think the safest is to say Demon Naga as well for Night of Orc.
Okay. All right, so...
If you really want to do only one thing...
No, it's okay. Like, I don't mind doing one thing. I just would like to do the same thing in each matchup consistently, if that makes sense.
Let's do this for now. Demon Naga everywhere except Mirror.
Okay. Okay, so I have not played Naga ever. So I can definitely give that a shot. I played a few games with the Panda. I found the Panda very flimsy at level 1. And then when you get the combo going, it deals a lot of damage. I think the Naga is mostly just the Chain Lightning ability, right? And then the Frost Arrow?
Frost Arrow. Basically, you go Frost Arrow. You know you have to activate it, I think, right? Frost Arrow, Fork.
Okay, so Naga is
Arrow,
Frost
fork.
Arrow, Fork. Okay.
No.
Frost Arrow, Fork, back into Arrow.
And then Tornado. Yeah.
If that ever happens.
Tornado will be fun.
Okay, so that'll be like one of the main things that I'll try out as well then tomorrow with Demon Naga.
Are you still up for one replay watch? Or
oh yeah, absolutely. No, I have time.
Okay, cool. So I have loaded your most recent ladder game.
Oh god.
I've not pre-watched this, but let's just look at a couple of things so we can go into the bit more practicality realm.
I hope I don't forget my second Moonwell this time around, dude. I don't remember this one specifically.
You already have.
Oh, this one. Is this the one I played yesterday?
Yeah, the last game you did yesterday.
Yes. This is my first experience playing against the Tauren Chieftain first.
Oh, wait, I heard you on stream about this.
Yes.
This guy was a lamer, you said.
Yeah. I was not familiar with the term lamer, but this is this was a weird game. Yeah. I win it ultimately based on having to think in the game, which took a lot of effort.
Makes sense.
I had to think about the game a lot.
That makes sense. That's usually, it happens in these lame games, like base rate, hit and run. It gives you a lot of time to think. Like Ari had a game like that as well. And, okay, there we go with the next Swiss.
I found this map pretty cool because it's I think the only map I've played where it has a shared base in the middle.
Yep, without creeps.
Yeah. But like the fact that there's not like 3 bases for both players, but there's 5 bases in total, like 5 gold mines that is kind of cool.
This map is made by a maths professor from the US.
Okay.
Who does not play the game. He only watches. And he has actually influenced the meta greatly by giving me and other players builds that he has never played against another player. Just by studying, checking the numbers, practicing builds, and then sending them to streamers. He has nearly helped me beat the best player in the world with a build 3-0 7 years ago recently. So like, this guy is kind of a legend. And he made this map.
Right. That's amazing. That is recent.
Very recent. So, immolation. Little rule about immolation, write this down. Use it on 2 creeps or more, never 1.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually, when you were talking earlier about the mana spending in the Moonwell, there has to be a point where you stop using this for the most part for creep camps, right? When would that be, roughly?
Stop using it once you're... well... I would say you keep using it until you're level 3.
Okay.
so that you can reach your power spike. But maybe you also... So the problem here is, after the first camp, you are already sub-max mana, unable to heal full.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about the situation.
Yeah.
You're aware that you uproot too early, right? We talked about that in the analysis
Yeah, I don't want to
video.
do it until like the first creep is close, right?
Yeah, then you would have had triple immolation spread. That would have helped already.
Plus, I could have built this way closer.
Right, you could build it closer. You could uproot later. Then you would have triple immolation spread. You wouldn't have to immolate as long.
Yeah.
You have more nice stop there on the AOW. Okay, now you turn off immolation because it's one creep.
Yeah.
Emote 2 or more only.
Yeah.
So there's already like 3-4 mistakes made here that make you overuse mana. Not a big deal, completely normal for your level. You also last hit this level 1 by accident.
Wait, did I do that with the Ancient of War?
Yeah.
Sick.
But as long as you know it's fine, right?
Yeah.
Here, you would want to scooch out the Mammoth, go in with Demon, walk back until here, then go in with Demon again, and immolate the 2 ranged in the Mammoth's location with the Mammoth coming back to you.
So you kind of want to create like... You almost want them to surround you. It's the same concept that you were talking about earlier with the sideways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now, let's say if your Archer was where your Demon is now. Your Demon goes in. You pull the Mammoth out here. Your Demon goes in. Mammoth goes to your Archer. What do?
I would have to attack my own Demon with the Archer for a sec.
Yep. What do most people do of your level? They lose their Archer.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so it matters.
This is, by the way, the last game that I played after like a pretty long gaming session. So I think this may also be like one of the messiest ones. This is like when the caffeine has long run out, you know?
Okay.
Last game of the day.
You did something very cool here that I learned from. Because the Archer is within ensnare range, but outside of... Well, it's within ensnare acquisition range, but outside of the casting range. The Tuskar pulled closer to the Archer to ensnare it. Because Archer is max distance to the left attacking this guy. This guy ensnares. It actually makes them huddle together. And if you were to stand here now, which there is space for, you would also get triple immo spread.
Yeah.
So this is something you could practice against AI for this camp. By keeping Archer here, checking to see if you can make Trapper come close enough that you can stand right here with Demon and get triple immo.
Yeah.
Right now you don't have it on Trapper because you don't know that you could be here.
No, I should definitely be.
Now
I actually thought the range of it was
on.
a little bit bigger if I look at this better. Like I haven't really paid attention to it that closely.
So now we're in an interesting position where you are sub-max mana, but you are near max. So you also just made a 3rd Moonwell. The way that I would look at this and I say, I would like to reach max mana for a brief period of time as I go back for another Moonwell heal. Once your mana is max, because you always dual consume for both your health and mana at the same time, once your mana is maxed, you save loads of mana healing your health for Moonwell juice.
Mm-hmm.
Understand?
Yeah.
I'm not sure you completely 100% follow my goal here.
So, are you trying to say that for the next camp I should not be getting Immolation activated, or?
Correct, because you're so near max. If you had half mana now, I would say use Immo, because if you had half mana, you would use Immo on the next camp, because you're already not going to be able to heal max anyway.
Right.
And the consumption for health and mana of Moonwell juice is always 50-50. So when your mana is half, it's hopeless unless you have lots of Moonwell juice. So you might as well maximize DPS via immolation to minimize damage taken and time spent. You then go home and you heal. It will never be enough anyway. But because you are near max mana, and if you take the camp, you will be about 40% health, even without immolation.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're near max, every point of mana you regenerate now and don't spend is 4 extra health from Moonwells.
Right.
So you take this camp. It's a little slower without immo. You go back. They're regenerating Moonwell juice only at night. You come back here. And now if you had full mana, you would get 100 life per Moonwell because they have 50 juice. This one finishes with 100. That's 200 life. 100, 100, 200, 400. You have how much health? 200. You're missing 400. Yes, you would have taken it a bit slower without immo, but you'll probably be 85% health minimum. But now because you spent mana and didn't wait for regen, you're 60%.
Right, yeah. Yeah,
And
I guess
now
I shouldn't
actually
have been
you're
in this position in the first place here, right? Like, I should have already done a better job with that.
Yeah, there's a couple of other things to point out, but you're in a weird position now where even though you've taken 3 camps and you've gotten stronger by more levels and more items, because your Moonwells are empty and because Night Elf has no way to heal at tier 1 without Moonwells, you're actually paralyzed from PvE. So you've already lost the game, essentially.
Yeah, against a good player, this is basically unwinnable now, right?
Yes, yes.
So would you say if it is like a complete... like, say I wanted to simplify everything, would it be worth going mana burn into evasion instead? And just skip immolation?
Yep, I recommend new players not to play immolation for this exact reason.
Yeah, because it seems like it adds, like, not just one layer of difficulty, but, like, a lot.
3 layers of difficulty in Moonwell juice management. Every camp, you're like, oh, I need to maximize immolation. I need to remember to turn it off. I need to remember to turn it on. I need to juggle my Moonwell juice.
But it's never been a consideration of mine at all until you brought it up. So it's good to know.
You know what? I didn't even think about asking you not to use it yet until you.
Well, I've just been following along a little bit, but I see,
Yeah. Such a relief. Oh my god. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, let's do that. Second tip.
You think? Okay, so you think I should not play immolation at all for now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of the difficulty of Moonwell management. Let's revisit it when you reach 1050 MMR.
Okay.
Or maybe 1100. 1050 or 1100.
Okay.
You can revisit. Or 100 games, whatever comes closest.
Okay. No, that's yeah, okay.
That's fair, right? But I'm so glad you brought it up. Because your mana spend will be much
lower.
lower.
I'm just trying to think, like, I have also accidentally gotten mana burn first. Which
that's fine.
yeah. So I didn't play immolation in those games, and it seemed to work out okay.
Yeah. If you Wisp Scout and you see they're creeping, you can even evasion first. You get 1.6 or 1.7 from the first camp, and then you do another camp with evasion. Then you get level 2 and mana burn from that.
So if you want to scout, should I... When do you normally send the scout worker out?
Altar Wisp. The pro Wisp is Altar Wisp.
Okay.
If you're not pro, which you are not, I'm completely fine with post-tech Wisp. So 21 out of 30, you just tech, then you take a Wisp. Is it the pro way? No. Will you miss some crucial info? Yes. But it's okay. The post-tech Wisp checks, are they also tier 2ing, like I am? That's question 1.
Okay.
And the second one is, are they fast expanding, like I am not?
Okay, so when tier 2 scout?
Yeah, when start tier 2 scout. This is a good time for you in your current stage of development to scout. And your goals will be, are they teching already? Which would put them roughly the same foot as you, because after all, you just teched, right? So you show up when your tech is 40 seconds in, 50, 60 seconds in. If they're teching, you can assume roughly they are teching normal fast speed like you.
Yeah.
And the second goal you're checking for is, do they have an expansion? Keep in mind, some bases, some maps have multiple expo possibilities.
Right.
If the Wisp dies, and you don't know if they have expo, and you're blind, and the whole map is dark, you need to send another to check, do they have expo?
Yeah.
I heard you say on the stream today that you want to get a head start early on scouting. I know you don't know what the significance of Rax, Warmill, Triple Burrow Shop is. That's okay. At least check if they have an expansion. That's information that needs to be decided upon.
Yeah. So do you think it's worth sending 2 Wisps out onto the map?
No. Try to send 1 and don't lose it.
Okay, cool.
Otherwise it costs you too much lumber.
Yeah, okay.
What is okay is what you did on that map on Warhill, is where also around this time when you're teching, can be earlier than this, take a wisp, send it around the corner, shift, and then put it on this tree.
Right, yeah. So that's what I was thinking, like maybe you want to do that before, but I guess nighttime isn't over until much later.
Yeah, but actually to answer your question, yes, it is worth to put a second wisp on the map and park it near an expansion behind the mine, whatever. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so specifically about springtime, you couldn't know, but you Ancient of Warcraft the wrong camp.
Okay.
They're both green. This is green, as you see on the minimap,
Mm-hmm.
and this is green, but you want to start with this. Part of the reason you're out of juice is because you took the harder camp solo and the easy camp with AOW.
Okay. So is there an easy place to figure that sort of thing out? Like
Yes,
I've
the
seen a few
website that was
websites
sent to
where
you.
that people have linked, but I have no idea about their accuracy. Or
They're very accurate. The website that has, well, does a moderator have the link for me so I can just make sure that he has the same one? Because
it
there's
was like
one website that's...
wc3.no or something.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Use that and check for any creep camp that gives you not 1.4, not 1.5, but 1.7, 1.8, or 2.1.
Yeah, they basically have routes that give you like the indicator of how when you should hit level 3 after like 4 camps, I think.
Oh, actually, there's a much better website than what you have. Sorry. I'm
Okay.
going to paste it in your Twitch chat.
That would be great. Cough
Cough
creeps.
creeps.
Doesn't this lead to the same one? yeah. The website links to the...
Oh, really?
Yeah, the example creep routes button links to the same page.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, cool. It's the same one. Perfect.
Okay.
So look for any... Look for any camp that gives you between 1.7 to 2.2 level.
So the Ancient of War camp should give...
Must give you 1.7 level minimum.
Okay. So I will include that as well. Okay.
Okay. That was the start. Now let's look a little bit at some follow-up. This is like an unwinnable fight. Or maybe you're still typing.
No, sorry. Yeah, I was just copy pasting the thing in my great Google Notes.
Yep. It's great.
Or actually, Microsoft Notes. Even better.
OneNote?
No. Notepad.
Oh, okay. I use Microsoft OneNote.
Yeah, this should be game over
situation-
right here, right? Because I messed up the
Kind of.
juice.
Yeah, if he has dust, it's game over. And without, you need to get really creative. You can, well, actually, it's super easy here. You put one archer in each and you shadow melt because he has no dust.
Yeah. Is there an easy way to know if there's a hole in my base like that? So you immediately see here that there are 2 holes in the base. What about the gap between the altar and the Moonwell?
Yeah. You can go into the map editor and check the blueprint for every building.
Right.
But you can also write down the following rules. Here we go again.
Here we go. I like rules.
I'm not going to use my previous explanation, guys. People feel really weird when I talk about hard edge and soft edge. We're not going to say anything about edging.
Okay. Well, that's a shame, but all right.
All right. Well, later in DMs. Hunter's Hall, Moonwell, and trees
Right, yes.
are one category. Hunter's Hall, Moonwell, and tree line.
Okay.
They're really tight.
Right.
And everything else is flaccid, is soft. Oh my god. I don't know how else to say
You
it.
said you weren't going to do it, but you did it anyways.
I did it anyway. Oh my god. Okay, so Hunter's Hall, Moonwell, and trees provide really hard wall-offs. And everything else does not. So if 2 Ancients of War are as close together as possible, everyone can go in between. If an Ancient of War is against the Tree of Life, everyone can go in between with one gap, even Demon. or mountain giant or bear.
Okay.
So AOW, touch, hero can go through. If AOW touches Hunter's Hall as close as it can be, wisps can travel, but no heroes.
Okay.
Because, remember, category 1, Moonwell, Hunter's Hall, and trees. They're really tight. Trees, Hunter's Hall, Moonwell, tight.
Okay.
So if tight touches tight, like these two Moonwells, no one can go through.
I see.
So, what's happening here? You tell
Altar
me.
is soft.
Yep. And Moonwell?
It's hard.
Yeah, and they touch each other. So Wisp can go, Hero cannot. Altar is soft, and trees are hard. So who can go here?
A wisp.
Correct. Well,
I see.
that's how. And Hunter's Hall is hard, tree is hard. So who can go here?
Nothing.
Correct. Well, there we go. That wasn't that hard.
Oh, no. That makes perfect sense. I you know what? People may give you shit for the explanation, but it makes perfect sense.
Okay. All right, so how the hell do you stay alive here? Oh.
He backs up, I think.
Lack of commitment. All right, well, that always works.
He's got commitment issues. It's okay. He saw all the soft and hard edges. He's like, you know what? This is not my style.
He's like, this guy edges, and he just left. He pulled back. Okay.
So I panic and start making huntresses, which I never make.
That's okay. That's good. Hunters counter grunts, kind of.
This is where I find out about the second hole in my base.
Yep. Always sucks when a guy sneaks up on your second hole.
Right.
Okay, so this is interesting. You pulled him past your Tree of Ages, which is great because it has an auto attack. You pulled him into the Hunter's Hole. Into the Ancient of War. Nice cancel too. Lowko, how do cancel mechanics work in StarCraft? Do you lose money if someone hits your building when it's building?
No, you lose it if it dies. And if you cancel it, you lose resources too.
A Nexus cancel is 300 gold, correct? You get 300 gold back.
Yeah, you get 300 gold back.
And if it was nearly dead, you get 300 gold back, correct?
Yes. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
so
here
you get less in this game?
Yeah. Here, the percentage of damage you lost on the total health is the percentage of resources removed from the 75% you would get back. So a 400 mineral nexus gives back 300. But if it was also half dead, taking 750 damage, you get back 150.
Interesting. Okay.
You will make a judgment call when a half HP lore is being attacked. Will this make it or won't it make it? If it's not going to make it, that means you have to cancel it. You will then make a second judgment call. Cancel early or late. Canceling early recoups maximum resources.
I see.
And canceling late wastes maximum of his time.
Yeah. Huh.
Now you know you have a decision to make.
It's interesting how, it's probably the same people at Blizzard that designed this for a lot of games. But then they still decided to very specifically make different decisions there, right? It's interesting.
Yep. And I can tell you why, because I remember when that got changed. Because it used to be like StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2.
Let me guess, it was recent?
It was very recent. How did you know? This also happened when during the first year of Warcraft 3. What was happening is people were tower rushing a lot. Think Cannon Rush, but in overdrive.
Okay.
Cannon Rush relies on going behind a mineral line in StarCraft. Here, people put down 4 towers in your face. Very brazen. You never want to see someone erect 1 tower, let alone 4 towers, right in your base.
Right.
So, those towers, someone puts in a lot of effort to cancel them, and the attacker keeps canceling them for 75% money back, even if it was nearly dead.
I see.
This was so OP that they gave a loss to the attacker, to the building canceller, to balance it.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
so they made the mechanic a lot more complex in that regard. Yeah, that's cool.
Yes. They made the decision making around it more complex
Yeah.
and interesting and balanced. Nice stuff. Okay, this was really nicely done. You're going mass bears. This
So
game
you
you didn't
mentioned,
go for adept bears.
sorry, you mentioned in the replay that I should not be making these druids until tier 3, right?
You can make them early in preparation of, but you should not delay your tier 3 because you're making adept bears. Yeah.
So I should
So
probably have made a few dryads here, like maybe 1 or 2 bears at most, but
it's tough to say. If you're strapped for Moonwell juice and your demon is low,
yeah.
you are gonna go tier 3 regardless. And you have double lore and tier 3 is building. You can do a bear and an adept upgrade and get that rejuvenate out on your demon 3 that no longer has juice. And then, if you want more rejuve, you build 2 more bears. Now you have 3 adept bears, no master claw training, tier 3 is still building, but it's still good because rejuve. But keep in mind to treat them like high templars, not ultralisks.
Yes. I find out, well, this was the same session yesterday, that these guys are very weak. Until they get bear mode, and suddenly they hit like trucks, and they never die, but...
Yeah. It's actually crazy to see you use them this way. It reminds me that how would you know unless you like sit down, study their numbers, think of the implications.
It is kind of like High Templar into Archon. It's not far off.
Yeah, actually true. And now High Templars have an auto attack, so it's super similar.
Yeah.
Okay, why are you creeping this camp instead of your own camp?
I wanted to, I guess, steal his. I don't know. It seemed closer by, but...
Yeah, well, that's great. That's perfect.
Oh,
Keep doing that. Keep doing that. Because you pushed him back, he has towers. You feel like you would probably win a fight. So when you win a fight, you should steal enemy farm. I loved when you described something early on stream today. I was cheering, I was fist bumping during dinner. You said...
You're cutting chicken?
Yeah, I was cutting chicken. No, this was during dinner, after eating the chicken. During eating the chicken. Creep camps are like an expansion that he can now no longer take, you said.
Yeah, that's very relevant in modern StarCraft for Zerg versus Terran specifically, where like they basically fight for the final resources. So like it's common for a Zerg player to try and steal the base, because once it's mined out, the resources are gone, right? Like if you can take a base that is supposed to be the Terrans, and it's mined out, obviously not only do you get the extra resources, but they won't get it. So it's...
Yeah. Do you mean Zergs are taking more aggressive expo against Terran first to deplete it?
Yeah, Terrans have been turtling a lot more over the last couple of years. So they sit on a lot of like planetaries and ghosts, and it's really hard for Zerg to attack, but they expand pretty slowly. Like they make lots of command centers, and then they drop a lot of mules when they do get an expansion, but they don't expand that quickly.
Yeah, well, it's exactly like that. And this is an example of how income and extra bases are not the end-all be-all of gold generation or resource generation in Warcraft 3. You've got additional resources, which is creeps and XP, and it's a zero-sum game, so you take theirs first. Lovely micro here on the demon, Lowko.
Thank you. I'm trying to run around. A lot of people right-click heroes here.
Did you just give invul to him? Yeah, you did, because your inventory on demon was full. Your keeper tried to give invul to demon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the rest was great. And try to always keep one flex slot, if possible, just to be able to give those last-minute items.
So if you were to be in this spot, right? Say it is filled up, the whole inventory is filled up right now. Would you sell immediately the slippers?
Yeah, if I was full, I would sell either slippers or claws. Slippers give 3 damage. Claws give 5. Slippers also give 6% attack speed. But agility shares with that additively on a hidden base attack speed. So every agility point gives 2% attack speed.
Okay.
So you would think, oh, 6% attack speed, that's 6% DPS? Well, not quite. Without making it too complicated, 6% attack speed is about 4% attack speed, roughly. So the Slippers gives 4 DPS via attack speed and 3 DPS via the actual damage, let's say. So Slippers is actually just straight up better than Claws on Demon. Gives more damage. So I would sell 1 Claws if I was full. Let's say Circlet, TP, Slippers, Claw, Venom. I sell Claw, I buy Invulnerability Potion.
Okay.
And also the armor, it gives 1 armor, right? Slippers.
I'm not sure.
It's 0.3 armor per agility.
Okay.
So 1 armor is 6% EHP.
Yeah. I'm
The
assuming it
slippers
would
is way
always
better
take
than
priority, though, if you have the money for it, to just give the item to Keeper here.
Yeah, true. In this situation, I would give TP and Invul to Keeper. So that he has TP, Invul to save himself, TP to save himself, Staff to save Demon, and then here's a great one, Staff of Teleportation on Demon Hunter.
I don't understand how that one works.
Yeah, so there's an item in the Goblin Merchant called the Staff of Teleportation. It's worth 150 gold, and it will be your best friend.
Okay.
Staff of Teleportation has a 45-second cooldown and allows the using hero to channel it on any unit, worker, hero, or building that you own anywhere on the map. It does a 3-second channel, which is interruptible by enemy CC.
Okay.
And by yourself giving an accidental move command.
But that's
not that you would ever do that on Tranquility.
I would never do that.
Yeah, well, that's good. Let's rule that out. So it is a global teleportation. As you know, in StarCraft and in Warcraft 3, mobility is very powerful. So being able to teleport across the map is very powerful. Staff of Preservation TPs your demon to the main tree. You can then heal. If you then use Staff of Teleportation, you can go back to your army. Instantly.
Almost. I see.
So you always want to have your Keeper and Naga from now on carry the TP that the demon will give if you still had one. If you need to buy a new one, Keeper buys it. He will have TP, Staff, Invul.
Okay, hold up. Let me write that down real quick. So, the Keeper would have TP, Staff, Invul, yes?
Yeah, Staff of Pres, to be clear.
Yes, Staff of Preservation.
And the demon will have Invul and Staff of Tele.
So, if this was in any of the matchups that we talked about earlier, and I would have a Naga here instead, would they have the same items?
Yeah, same concept.
Okay.
She's TP because she's ranged. Demon is tank.
Okay.
So Demon is going to get focused more than Naga or Keeper. Then Demon nearly dead. You staff him. You quickly press F1, F1. Go back to base. Right click, shift right click, shift right click. F2, F2. Fighting. Press F1. Staff of Tele. Click on the healthy bear so that it doesn't die before the channel completes.
That's a
Demon
sick combo.
It's so sick. And you're not really playing Night Elf unless you do it.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
And then you'll have space for 3 to 4 permanent stat boosting items on Demon because he's now not carrying Town Portal, which is another big benefit.
So I was considering the Staff of Teleportation mostly as a defensive item, but it's mostly an offensive item then.
Yeah, I think it's mostly offensive, but it has other purposes. Say you're over here, now you're going to creep this, then you're going to creep this, and you have a Wisp or a Sentry. Let's say you have a Wisp here. You see starting an Expo. You're creeping this red spot, and then he's going to your base. You go defend in your base.
You can even TP onto a Sentry?
No, not Sentry, not Sentry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, great question. But let's say you have a Wisp here, and you see he's like, while he was attacking you and you defended, Great Hole 40%. He just TP'd. You can staff your demon with full life, of course, on top of your Wisp. Cancel the Great Hole. Meanwhile, you send your Keeper and all your units to catch up. Demon has Invul, so he has 7 seconds invulnerability.
Yeah.
When his TC and Grunts come in trying to CC you. And your Keeper walks up, saves the day with a staff or a Rejuve or whatever. Right? This is dynamism play. Staff of Tele gives you so many options to do cancels on expos that would otherwise be completely out of reach.
I see. Yeah. So would you buy this when you are at like 50 supply?
Yeah,
like right about
definitely.
Right now?
Usually I would say second phase of 50 supply. So is this the first time you reached 50, let's say?
I see.
I think you reached 50.
I think so.
So you have the money. So now the answer is yes. TP on Keeper, Staff on Demon. If you didn't have the money and you're fresh 50, don't do it yet. There are other more important things like make sure you have TP, heal scroll, start one attack upgrade, start an over Moonwell so you can go over if you needed to. Love you doing double over Moonwell. Great habit. Well, there you go. Attack upgrade, Ultra Vision, double Moonwell. Okay, now you've done all your necessary spends. Next time you get to the shop, I would buy a Staff of Tele, yes.
So you bring up the healing scroll? Is that, like, I never use a healing scroll. I bought it here, but I
Really?
don't, like, I think this is mostly an accident.
It's
I
very
think
hard to
I
use
buy it with the good intentions, you know, but I don't actually use it.
That's great. Heal Scroll and Invul are the two most important items from Merchant. It's an
Okay.
instant 150 heal to an unlimited number of units in a radius this large around the hero.
Yeah, it's really good.
Fantastic. Not as good on bears as it is on Mass Archer Huntress, because bears are more compact. 150 for a bear or 150 for an archer. Right? If you have two archers, same cost as a bear, that's 300 health. On a bear, it's just 150. Understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, so many small unit better, but it's still good enough for bears to use.
Okay.
And the rule for heal scroll is if you're at 50, buy one. If you're at 60, have two.
Do they share a cooldown?
Yes, which means one on
Right.
each hero.
Yeah.
30-second cooldown exclusion.
Hold up. Let me just write this down real quick, because I made some notes of what I should do when I get to 50.
Yep.
Let's see. Items for heroes, yes. So this would be heal scroll, invul, staff of teleportation, and then when you are at like 60, you want to usually have two. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And you can have 3 on 70 or 80.
Okay. You just basically you buy them. Does
You
the
buy
does
heal
the
scrolls.
shop share supply? Like does
Yes.
Okay. So that's another reason.
It's like
to buy them.
Zonaga Watchtower. Control of it matters a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, that's one of the reasons I guess to buy them, right? Because if you have them,
Denial.
your opponent can't have them.
Yeah, true. And heal scrolls have counterplay. If you click enemy heroes, which you will eventually get used to doing, you see what he has, you can come up with your micro plan for the fight. So if you see someone has heal scrolls, target fire one by one instead of spreading on everyone.
I see. Yeah. Man, there's a lot. There's a lot of layers. Like the fights are pretty slow, but also really fast. You know what I mean? Like it's just there's a lot of considerations.
Yeah, no, I love that you say that. It's true that fights are slower than in SE2, and that makes it easier, but it also makes it harder because you cannot compensate with macro usually.
No. Yeah.
So the importance on it is 95%, and in SE2 the importance on fights is 40 to 60%. That means fights are everything here. And
Yeah.
what Warcraft 3 lacks in raw speed of procession of the fight, there is more complexity in a way and less raw mechanical domination.
Yeah.
Not that there isn't any, but let's say doing like insane Marine King micro can be out of skill reach for many. Here it's more of a knowledge game, but that knowledge is very dense,
Yeah.
very deep.
No, I fully agree. Like in StarCraft, when you hear your units are under attack, you're probably already dead. Like genuinely, it's so quick. Like if you're Terran and you don't pay attention, or you're Protoss and you just have a bunch of Banelings rolling into your High Templar, like it's extremely brutal.
Yeah.
It's exciting
Okay,
to watch,
nice.
I think, but it's very painful to play.
Yeah, I think StarCraft 2 tournaments are very, very fun to watch. Ladder, usually there's a lot of iteration where you do the same build many times, which I personally love to do, but will have like less variety in the play. Cool thing
Yeah.
about Warcraft 3, there's so much variety because of all the different items. Wait, what happened here? Did you have...
I think I put him on
auto-replenish on?
autocast.
Okay, that is to be avoided because of the 4:1 ratio rule.
Yeah, I think I did that when I panicked in the early game.
Yeah, there
When
is...
there were like 4 units out, that's when I...
That makes sense. There is a legitimate purpose for autocast. If I get attacked on this Moonwell by 3 footmen and an Archmage, and I put 2 wisps to repair it, and then I want to look away, I will auto-replenish the Moonwell so that the wisps will completely consume all the juice gradually every time they get attacked. But then I have to off it so that the full HP Dryad does not suck a little bit of mana, which you really don't give a shit about.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gain nothing from this. Like, your Dryads and Bears got full mana. Who cares? And you're
No, it's
still
complete
low,
waste.
low
Yeah.
in health. Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is also important. The rule of percentage maintenance. Have you ever played Dota or Dota 1, Dota 2?
Small amounts.
Okay, not enough to get this nerdy, so nerd time again. Percentages remain.
For the rejuvenation, you mean?
Yeah. Can you predict what I'm gonna say?
I know that the bear mode basically doubles the HP of the druid.
Yeah.
And I always want to be transforming the druids back to non-bear mode when you use rejuve, right? Because it's a percentage-based heal, so they double their HP when you switch over. It's something along those lines.
Yeah, you already know.
Okay.
Rejuve, do you know how much health it gives?
I don't know, like
400.
400? Okay.
Yeah, and the bear goes from 500 plus to 960. So a rejuve of 400 is worth 400 on a Druid of the Claw. It's worth about 750 if you do the double transformation trick.
Yeah, so it's like basically twice as good, yeah.
Yeah, maybe not 750, it's 580 to 960. Whatever that ratio is, probably like 1.7. Okay, let's say that rejuve is worth like 680 health if you do it on the elf form.
Maybe in the original version it had exactly 1,000, you know, but with the recent patch they may have changed.
Oh, yeah. I would have to check the books for it, but I am just going to say that you're right. This is not just true for rejuve, but for all forms of healing. If you use the heal pot on the Demon Hunter, it's worth 250. But if you drop, well, your keeper, let's say. If you drop the gauntlets of the Belt of Giant Strength, which gives 150 bonus health, you will lose how much of your max health? About 19%. Spitballing. So dropping Belt loses you 19% max health. Current health was at 50, let's say. That maintains. You drink heal pot. You pick it up. Your heal pot is now not worth 250, but 250 times 1.19, which is
right.
297. So you gained 48 bonus health by doing right click, left click, heal pot, right click. 3 extra commands, but you gained 48 extra health.
Huh.
That's pretty nice.
I didn't even realize the belt would give that much, but that's a really interesting mechanic.
Strength is 25 health. 6 strength, 6 times 25, 150.
That's just
Circlet,
flat?
another 2. What?
It's just flat? Like it's just 25 HP for each strength? Even on a non-strength hero, like all of that is irrelevant?
Yep. The only attribute advantage, as you see here in the tooltip, is getting bonus auto attack damage, which is why sometimes you will put intelligence on a panda, even though he's strength, because his spells are awesome, rather than putting it on keeper, who is also int, because his spells are bad late game.
I see. Okay.
You're prioritizing the mana from int over the auto attack damage. Yeah. So ask yourself, if you have a mana item, first, who is int hero? Do I want bonus auto attack damage? But also ask yourself, who needs mana the most? Whose spells are the most kick-ass? Who runs out of mana the most?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Them. If you have double pendant of energy and a periapt of vitality, and you approach Moonwells, and you drink them empty when you were low, you are literally wasting
like half.
1.5 Moonwell full worth of juice. So you do right click, left click, hold shift, right click, left click, right click, left click, and then shift still clicked, right click, right click, right click, and shift then right click here, and then right click all 3, and you have shift down during all of it.
Yeah.
You follow, right?
Yeah, no, I follow. Yeah, I understand the reasoning behind it.
Yeah. And sometimes an enemy will steal your items, and it's great.
I'm so smart, and I'm actually an idiot. I didn't realize... I knew it would work like that for the rejuvenation, but I didn't realize it would work like that for items.
Right. If I asked you, would it work? You would say yes, but you didn't think about it.
I didn't think about it, yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah, which makes sense. You're doing double Orb of Venom. Where did you learn this?
My logic here is that it seems that my damage is like 60% coming from my heroes, maybe more, I don't know. So I'm thinking since
Yeah.
he's going flying units and I don't know what anti-air I have other than the Dryads, I'll just give my heroes anti-air.
This is
And then at some
fantastic.
point I realized I should probably have dedicated anti-air, so I make the, what is it, Hippogriff?
You don't need it. Bears counter wyverns.
Really?
Yeah, well, because of Rejuve and everything you just said is completely true.
Yeah, so Rejuve and then the 2 heroes are enough?
Yeah, usually.
Okay.
Though, like I said, Keeper is bad anti-air hero, so I do not disagree with you going Ancients of Wind. It's a bit of a meme, but it's also true. Up to 7 wyverns can be countered by bears and Orb of Venom. But when he has like 10 like this with 2/2 upgrades, sure, you can also get hippogriffs.
Yeah. So this guy does the thing that I had never seen before, where he basically never fights me after the early game. Like, he just keeps running around, and then every time he attacks me, he TPs in. I don't put vision for some reason at the bottom of the map at all, so he keeps doing the same trick 17 times, I think. Like, he attacks through the bottom lane into my main base as I attack him, and then he forces a TP, and he runs away. And he does this over and over and over again, and I just make the same mistake over and over and over again too, but it's okay.
But you also do a lot of good things. You keep creeping, you check his expansion. ABC, always be creeping, very useful. So you're getting ahead in ways that he is not, even though you lose buildings and make those mistakes.
Right.
And you're developing upgrades, which is also nice. You had double orb, also nice. Now, let's ask a couple of questions. I know you had the benefit of playing this game out, but let's say, what are the theoretical steps that you should do to solve several problems? I will mention the problem and you get an answer.
Sure.
Okay, you are full in inventory and you're starting a camp that will drop a perm. What should you have sold at your shop in base when you were in your base in anticipation of creeping?
Well, knowing what we now know, I would be selling the Claws of Attack.
Yeah, sell 1 clause. Anything on Keeper?
I'm not sure what the bottom left item does, but I'm thinking that's the fancy item. Yeah, that one's sick.
Sick.
The middle
This
right
one's
one.
sick. Middle right could sell Circlet. Yeah, I don't disagree that if you are going to creep 2 items, you might as well sell 2. You could sell Circlet. Now, Circlet is very good. I would say the evolved response would be double claw sell,
Okay.
give a Circlet to the demon, and then make sure that both can pick up an item. Now, I will say claws are very good. You ideally don't want to sell, but you currently have luxury problems, and luxury situations call for desperate measures.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
double claw
Makes sense.
cell, Circlet or Gauntlet to demon. Now you can pick up item here and here.
Yeah. Maybe stupid question, but does every orange camp by default always drop an item?
Yes. Every orange camp is guaranteed to drop a perm, and maybe 70% to also drop a tome.
Okay.
So if this was post-coaching, and this Dryad was getting destroyed by the Strapper, you would do an auto attack on this bear.
Yes.
With this Dryad. With all of these units, I would do a box select here, and then shift my demon out of it,
I just attack onto
And then
anything. Yeah.
and then attack onto the bear. Then all of them will attack the demon, because he's the only one
Yeah.
not in. But you can also just rejuve, and then you don't need to worry about any of that.
Well, this one I have a lot of HPs.
Yeah. But let's say if you only had 2 Dryads and an Archer,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it would matter. Nice. Expansion, lots of red juice, good shit. Now you have to sell. You sold the slippers, went to get the
Yes.
claws.
So I am overvaluing the claws. I did not quite understand how to...
Well, they are very good, to be clear. It's just that for demons specifically and nobody else, slippers is better than claws. But for everyone else, claws is better.
I see. So if this was like a...
Keeper,
Yeah.
Panda, Naga, you keep the claws.
Okay.
But for demon, warden, and bottom, because they're all agi hero, slippers.
I think I may end up selling the belt as well at some point on the keeper.
It's okay. It's okay. It gives a lot of money. Sometimes you will sell a better item, like an orange item.
Yeah,
instead
I
of
guess
a
the
green.
resources gained are also big. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know about upkeep, correct?
Yes. I'm going into...
Upkeep.
I think I was making 2 Moonwells. At least I thought it was. Oh, maybe he killed some when I...
You
when
were,
he
but he
attacked.
killed some.
Yeah.
So you went from 40 to 60.
Yeah, yeah. This game gets very messy.
Upkeep reduces your income. You know it's minus 10 plus 7? when you have upkeep.
Yeah, so the base does still run out at the regular rate.
Yeah, and you have other sources of gold generation outside of income from gold. Do you know what they are?
Well, killing creep camps and
Correct.
selling items, I guess.
Yeah, correct. And those are also taxed.
There was a game where I had lost my main, and I was at like 80 supply or something, and I didn't have money to remake. And
So you look, you see how much gold it gives?
Yeah, I sold like my entire inventory thinking I could easily get it, and then I still could not afford it after selling all my fancy stuff. That was a painful
You were
game.
probably post 80?
Yes, I was very high in supply.
Oh, so you got 40% from anything, and it's already 60% of its OG cost.
Yeah.
So you're getting
The
very little.
Taxman won that game.
Yeah, they won. Oh, and in 2v2, Upkeep also steals gifted money.
Oh.
Doesn't really matter. Well, actually, it does matter. There's also going to be 2v2. Oh, yeah. So it says plus 240, but actually it's more like plus 165, whatever.
Oh, so the amount on the screen is not the amount you actually get. I see.
Correct. Unlike here.
Yeah, but these do update.
Yeah, here it says plus 7, but here it says 240. It's lying to you. This should change, actually.
That's actually okay. There's no consistency there.
No, there isn't. I'm gonna make a note of that and make a YouTube video about it. Maybe they'll see it.
Blizzard, please. Blizzard must fix this immediately.
This glaring issue is ruining games for gamers worldwide.
You need the title and the thumbnail, so.
Your YouTube game is strong, I can tell.
Does the Q ability of the Keeper last through the TP?
No.
Okay.
Even if it was on a non-TP target. So by that I mean if you entangle Demon and Demon TP, then it's insta gone. Because of the
No, I
TP
mean I think I entangled. I think it was a grunt just now in the previous fight.
Yeah. Dispelled upon teleportation.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, interesting game. Interesting. Oh yeah, he's not gonna know which tree entangled the mine. Genius.
So at this point, I do not yet know of the ability you mentioned in the replay analysis of an upgrade that apparently makes my trees a little bit quicker when they're uprooted. Oh, yeah. So he is slow moving. I didn't know that was a thing.
Very slow. It's kind of a race who gets to entangle, but looks like your old chap lost the race. Tortoise
but with the upgrade, he would have
won.
won.
So now he has got like this awkward decision to make. If he could kill a tree, he doesn't know which one entangled.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very smart.
I did it on purpose.
Wait, how did you win
100%.
this? Holy Batman! He's like 17 workers away!
He's got a long distance mine when he doesn't need to. It's amazing.
Yeah. Wait, how do you win this?
I start making hippogriffs. They seem pretty good. Oh. I get his hero here.
Oh.
Also, this is another thing I learned for the first time in this game. I recognize that there is an ability called Ankh on the ulti. Now, I was confused because he dies here the first time. And I don't recognize why he doesn't die the next time around. Turns out he didn't actually research the ability in time.
Yep. Oops.
So this is it's a very strange situation. I never see that hero, so I remember it from the campaign from like a long time ago. Yeah, so that's a little bit awkward.
Yeah, I was very surprised too, because he also had TP. By the way, there's a replay bug. If you didn't see the tower in the fog, it looks like it's unfortified.
Oh.
You see? But it will not happen in your real games, just replay.
I see.
Yeah, cool. So you finally made Ancient of Wind. You have a bit of lumber issues. You've got hippos. How do you control group them? All ground should be 1, hippos 2?
Yep, that's what I have, I think, here. I think this is my first time making hippogriffs, and I don't know if I realize here that they have no anti-ground. So it's...
Ah, I see everything selected in one. Is this
yeah,
I
think I do split them up here eventually, but...
Okay.
So he should have stuck around, I guess, right? So they got
no,
teleported.
hippos are specialized anti-air. They will destroy these wyverns, even though he has better upgrades.
No,
than
no,
Gnoll.
I mean, like, he should have probably stuck around with the Wind Riders close to his hero's TP.
Oh yeah, you're completely right. I don't see you splitting the group yet. You pulled them away. They're still in the same group.
Maybe I add them back in? I don't know. There's something cursed here.
That's okay, but you know, it's just something to work on.
The spikes on the orc structure scare me. I don't...
Yes, it looks imposing, right?
Yes.
But do you know what it does?
I think it's thorns, so I think it's the same thing
Yes.
as my keeper, but...
True. But it's both flat and percentage.
Okay, so it's even better?
Better against footmen and ghouls because of the flat. Better against mounted giants because of the percentage.
Okay.
It used to be only flat, but it was recently changed to be both.
Right.
2018. So
Oh, that's pretty recent.
that is pretty recent.
That's only 2 years ago.
How do Bat Riders work?
I don't know.
They explode for like 500-600 damage. I think 600 on main target.
Oh, the Baneling guys. Yeah.
yeah.
The Scourge.
And 140 on extra targets. Radius about this big.
Okay.
So 600 main, 140 others. So splitting helps. Marine splits against Banelings. You should be familiar with it, the concept. Super familiar. Bat Rider have an interesting damage, which is reduced both by anti-magic. So Undead has an anti-magic shell they can put on creatures. But it's also reduced by armor, which is very unique in this game to be reduced by both. So the explosion damage is reduced by armor. A hippogriff will die to a single bat at full life. But if you get 2 armor upgrades, it no longer will.
Oh, okay.
But it will die to 1 single explosion. So if you get 2 armor upgrade hippos in an extended versus Wind Rider bat battle, and you do perfect split, then you will get 6 bats on 6 hippos, no one splash, all survive. You're happy, you go back home, you heal. It's great.
I see. I have honestly not really seen any of these units in any games. So, like, I've played, I don't know, maybe 60, 70 games or something. It seems very rare.
This is cheese. Anytime you see Wyvern or Bat, they are a cheese meister. They are lamer. They are no skill, tower defending noobs that will do hit and runs, towers and expos. And but I say that this is how like most people feel like about playing against it. It's true that usually their mechanics are worse, but it is a valid play style, and they, like anyone, are deserving of love and respect. Yeah.
But they're still lame.
Yeah, they're lamers. Cool.
So I decided to take the
AP.
center base, which I thought was kind of neat here, because he doesn't have a third base, and he's never going to be able to deny it if he doesn't want to fight me.
That's why it exists. Oh, you already survive with 1 armor upgrade, see?
Oh, yeah.
So
I
one
think I
armor is all
attempt to
it
split
takes.
at some point, but...
I think bats are 550, which is why it survives. But yeah, this is why this gold mine exists, to deal with clear turtle situations. We've had maps in the past in Warcraft 3.
This is where I get confused.
Have only 1 extra gold mine per player.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to these really boring turtle fiestas that both players have defender's advantage. He has towers, you have Moonwells, and then nothing happens. And you've had like unnecessary 30-minute pause fests because there was no tiebreaker. So even if there's a dominant player on the open battlefield, you couldn't capitalize on it. So 2v2 gold mine based maps are terrible. And let's see what happens when you kill him. Like, huh?
So I don't recognize this, because I don't know about the Ankh. And he just walks away.
How would you? Well, your chat told you about this, didn't
Yeah, they told me afterwards. I was like, what? Why didn't I get XP? It was weird.
That's good.
But I like shared expansions for the exact same reason in StarCraft 2. We see it on like maybe half the maps now. Maybe a little less. But basically, like the final base, even though there's like, 17 or something, like the final base is like in a position where both players can mine it equally easily. And you get like in these very long games, at least you get some sort of initiation rather than players just sitting.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's good game design, map design. The reason your hippos survived the bat is because of devotion aura.
Oh. Okay.
It actually says 1 armor, but it's 1.5.
Blizzard?
The tooltip is wrong. Blizzard?
Hello?
Care to explain? So
Another
this is
video.
9. Yeah, this is 9% EHP. I'll do it in the same video, maybe.
I mean, it's a
What do you
weird bug.
think? Do you think I should do it in a short or... Okay. That's why. Cool. Oh, very nice game. Well crisis managed for something you've never faced before.
Thank you. I tried, but it's a messy one.
We haven't talked about strategies much. The reason is Night Elf only has one strategy.
It's Dryads and Bears.
Build order. Yeah, it's Dryads and Bears.
I
You
like
add
that though. It's
hippos
nice. I can imagine it gets boring, but I feel like for this tournament we're playing, it's perfect.
I think so too. You can get creative and do mass hunters builds, archer all-ins. There's no air builds. There's no dedicated air builds. You cannot go talents, chimera, hippo, or hippo rider, or fairy dragon, or glaive thrower. So you've got 6 units that you cannot proactively make, but you can make archer, huntress, bear, dryad proactively. And
Right.
outside of those 4, everything is reactive or trash.
I tried it here. It didn't work.
It was nice. You were
Still
positioning in front. I've seen some good mechanics from you. You're gonna gain, I think, a lot of MMR. Now today, I teach you a lot of basics about creeps and economy and mechanics. These are really important, especially as an elf, because you have so low army diversity. So this is how you're gonna build your efficiency. If I coach a human, it's gonna be a very different type of coaching because they have so many builds. The next thing that I will need to help you with, and it's not going to be today because it will be too long and it's late for you. The next things you may need help with are the 100 different ways Night Elf can get rushed.
Right. I guess a lot of aggression is mostly designed to hit right before bears are done, right? Because that would make perfect
Yes.
sense.
Yeah, you're going to play Paladin Rifle guys that will try to kill your Adept Bears, your High Templars. Right before Masterclass training. You're going to have people that use ghouls, footmen, grunts, headhunter, wolves, etc. to harass wisps while you're attacking to tier 2.
Yeah. I've
way you
had
deal
that
with
happen
that-
already a little bit.
Yeah. The way you deal with that is partially with your pretty good build layout already, open jaw, with some gaps, to make them hesitate to go in, like the TC with 4 grunts early game. But if they penetrate deep into your base, and they do it repeatedly, you can react with a couple of tricks. I'm going to show you a few tricks, and then it'll be the end, okay?
Yep. Perfect. This has been super useful, by the way. Like,
I'm glad.
my head is a little bit overloaded with information, so I'm gonna try and practice in my REM sleep tonight, you know, and then tomorrow is gonna be a sick ladder session.
Don't be surprised if you are worse tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna
very
try and
common.
implement it all in one go, and it's gonna be garbage.
Yeah, don't be surprised about it, but you will most likely benefit a lot somewhere either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow if your note-taking and memory is good.
I'm gonna try. I'm really enjoying playing the game, by the way. Like, it is. It
I've
is an
noticed
absolute
this.
blast.
It's really nice. I'm glad to hear it. It's a great game.
I was talking about this on
Okay.
stream recently, but like it kind of feels like a lot of people in the StarCraft world are waiting for StarCraft 3 or whatever, right? But this, in a way,
and
kind
you
of
might
feels.
get it.
Well, this kind of feels like a, you know, like a Blizzard RTS game that most people haven't really played much. At least
Yes,
in the
it's
StarCraft
a new
world.
game!
Yeah, it's basically
It's
a
a
new
new
game.
game.
It's right here.
Came out recently for you.
There's a
But
game
maybe,
called World of Warcraft that also came out, I believe, not too long ago.
Yeah,
Banger.
came out last year for me. Hey, but I hear you might get StarCraft 3 from Netmarble or Nexon or something.
Yeah, there was like some rumors, right, that they were trying to sell the IP or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Not that they were trying to sell, but that people were bidding for it. But how could you bid for something that's not for sale? So I'm
Right. Yeah.
kind of sussy.
Yeah. We'll see.
Okay, I'm gonna show you some things. I'm playing now on Hammerfall, which is one of the tournament maps.
Okay.
I'm going to explain a few things I'm doing. And then I'll show some wisp mechanics. It will be the end, okay?
Okay. I know this map.
So
I know the expansion vertical from this one is impossible to take. The one left, very reasonable.
very easy to take for a human or an undead if they use the pull trick.
Right. Yeah. It's the one with
Footman and
the
Ghoul, the rock golem.
yes.
Footman and Ghoul go in, pull aggro all the way over here, move in with militia or a lot of ghouls and skeleton, receive the golem on the return, and creep it. No problemo. As an elf, you should be aware of that creeping mechanic I taught you, because you will face the enemies that do that.
That's a very good point. Okay.
I'm building my altar to the left, and I pulled the 4th wisp out of the mine as well. Because, see, I don't have money for a wisp right now. This is the efficient way to do it. The way that you've been copying the beginner guide is better for beginners. Where it's like altar, Moonwell, war, 1 on wood, fill gold. But this is the pro way to do it. You don't have to copy it. You can keep doing it how you're doing it.
Okay.
This is the obvious Ancient of War location. This is the Homo sapien. This is Homo erectus.
I see.
A little bit closer to the tree and to the creep camp. Altar could be on the left or the right. May feel arbitrary. We put it on the left because it's closer to the camp. More efficient.
Mm-hmm.
First wisp on trees goes to this tree, not this one. More efficient. Lower travel time.
Mm-hmm.
When wisps finish buildings, they go to near trees, which is more efficient.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to pause and explain something. Units can spawn from 4 corners of an altar.
Okay.
Like, all units spawn from one of 4 corners. And they spawn to the corner that is nearest the rally flag that you put.
Corners as
So
in
if I
like
put the
top, bottom, left, right?
top left, bottom left,
Oh,
bottom
okay.
right,
So
top
that's
right.
the exact opposite of the unit movement. So they spawn in a different spot than where they can like directionally
If you want to
walk?
use that, if you want to use that as a mnemonic device, like
Okay.
it's not
sorry.
like surrounds,
I was just interested. Yeah.
that's fine. Yeah, it's corners. It's not really related to the movement mechanics. It's just where buildings are allowed to spawn a unit initially.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to have a full wall off because you plugged the wine bottle with a cork of Ancient of War, and you have like Moonwell, 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 and you put Ancient of War in front, blades cannot get in.
Right.
If you did that, and you wanted your keeper to come out on the correct side, outside for aggression, inside for safety, then you need to understand this, which is why I'm explaining it. 4 corners, and if you put the rally flag over here at my cursor, which corner is the closest to it?
I'm assuming the top.
Yep. So he will spawn right here.
Yeah.
If I put the flag here, where will he spawn?
Well, either the right or the top, but it's... I don't know
Either
if it can
the-
spawn... I guess it can spawn in between, right? The heroes can spawn in between.
Well, it's going to be top right,
Yeah.
because it's nearest to top right. But the area is blocked. What are the rules governing that? Counterclockwise displacement.
That's
All right,
so...
why does this...
Yeah, that's so crazy. Okay.
Yeah, you just have to know.
Yeah, you just have to know. Of course it's counterclockwise. What else would it be?
What would it be? So, if I have a Moonwell here, which blocks the location, and I put my flag here, and this whole area was walled off, and I put my flag here, it tries to spawn here, can't, counterclockwise. It's outside.
Right.
Okay? If I put the rally flag here, behind my wall, inside my base, because I'm scared, I'm being attacked, and I want to spawn my hero to safety, what is the nearest corner? This one. And then it will displace counterclockwise. So he's trying to get in. I think I click inside my base, but it doesn't work. He spawns outside.
Oh.
So where should I click? Anywhere in this quadrant.
I see. Okay.
Not here, but here.
So it would spawn closer to the next edge? It would
This
spawn
corner.
yeah, you need it to... Ah.
4 corners, the points.
That's a crazy detail, but I see what you mean. So sometimes your rally point is set inside of your base, but he spawns outside, and you blame the game, but it's... I see.
Yes. They keep blaming the game, these other participants. It's very annoying.
How do they not know it's counterclockwise? That's...
How do they not know? But it's like, Tyler doesn't have the patience to listen to this. And you do.
I mean, I love the specific, like, how specific it is, but it's also... It's like knowledge that needs to be implemented too, right? And generally when you're under threat, you'll be panicking and you'll just be spamming the rally point like, quick, go to the Moonwell.
Just don't panic!
Well, you know,
Don't panic!
if you want to be defending and you're afraid and you need it to spawn behind the wall here, I can imagine it gets a little crazy, but that's funny. That's very funny.
Okay, where's my keeper gonna go? You now know. You have the forbidden knowledge.
If you spawn
He's
it
gonna
over
be
there,
here.
it's going to spawn over there, yes. So it's going to spawn on the top side of the wall. Yeah.
Oh, my keeper's dying! I'm blocked! I don't know why I'm blocked!
That rally point is also kind of crazy, though. If you expect it to go to safety, it just feels cursed.
Okay, now, you're creeping this camp. So you rally towards it. But it's blocked. Will the bottom go inside my base or outside?
I would imagine it's okay, but it's very... I don't know if it takes, like... Is it... No, I guess the game is viewing this as like a y-axis and an x-axis, right? So it's not gonna... It's the 4-corner rule here, yeah. So it's not gonna...
4-corner rule.
It's gonna try and spawn in the bottom left, I guess, which is inside of the wall.
Which is here.
Yeah.
This is the bottom left. But it's blocked by a tree.
Yeah. So
Where's
it's gonna spawn inside of
counterclockwise?
it.
North or east?
Sorry, what?
Where's counterclockwise? North or east?
It's gonna go east.
So you think it'll go here? I think so too. Let's see if it's true.
Yeah.
Why is my hero blocked?
I see.
So how do you fix it? Doing this and then shift here.
Right. Shift rally would solve all the problems. Yeah.
Yep. And then don't touch it again because it's easy to remember shift rally. But then later you're like, alright.
Well, normally what I do is I rally my hero, my second hero, onto my first hero, right? So
Everybody does that. That's a great habit. But that's okay so long as your hero
yeah,
doesn't
you're
go
not
anywhere
like, you're
near.
unlikely to be creeping that close to your base at that phase in the game, I guess. But yeah,
Oh, maybe you're doing this spot right here,
right.
which is still closest to this corner. So it's going to counterclockwise this place and get stuck here. So shift, click here, and then shift click on your hero.
Oh yeah, you can obviously do that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a good habit to
nearby
build,
tree.
though.
Yeah, it's great.
I can't wait for my hero to still get stuck during the tournament.
Please. I'm not. I feel like somehow, like if I'm trying to make a prediction, I'm probably not going to go as in depth with the others about this because I'm only human as well. You're getting the best of it.
Oh yeah.
Because you're the first.
Am I the absolute first here?
You're the first for me to go this deep about these mechanics.
Even if I'm not going to be able to implement half of it, I still find it very fun how, you know, the game has this weird quirk for a lot of those mechanics that is just, it's fun.
Auto attack, move up. Auto attack, move up. Stutter step. E3.
Okay.
Auto attack, animation cancel. Bring one wisp, but it's going to get ensnared by the huntsman, so we bring another.
Yep.
Because it's entering the 600 range of the huntsman. Okay, I guess it's not. I don't know. Yeah, let's just ensnare the second wisp. I don't fucking know why.
Perfect.
Oh, my Ancient of War is dying. Attack my own altar. Now they're attacking demon. Oh, it's not dying anymore? Don't attack my own altar.
Oh, obviously that works as well for buildings. For some reason, I keep thinking that buildings are like entirely separate.
exempt from this rule.
Yeah.
No, sir. Okay, we did the big camp. That gives us 1.9. We go immolation creep the next, or without. It's fine. I know I talked to you about sometimes it's okay to tech at 22, 23, 24. Sometimes you also do triple Moonwell tech, which gives you more Moonwell gen. Notice how it's 4 p.m. At 6 p.m., it's going to be nighttime, so you can look. Every minute in game is 20 seconds.
Okay.
Okay. We're teching at 23. We've got triple Moonwell. This Moonwell isn't done. It's almost night. So three Moonwell before tech is good. I didn't use as much immolation, so I'm almost full, but not quite. Okay. I go to the next camp. Now, let's say someone comes in, starts harassing wisps. What do? Ghouls can go through here. Hard. Remember, Moonwells are hard, right?
Yeah, right. Hard edges, right.
These Moonwells have one gap. Hard with a gap is Wisp. No hero.
Yep.
So hard, one gap is Wisp. Soft hard is one gap is Wisp. Hard, no gap is full block. And soft can never block a hero. Those are the 4 permutations. Okay, so someone comes in to attack your Wisps. You notice what he's attacking. You move it. You click gold mine. Empty. And you put it in. He's going to go for the other Wisp. You move it. Click one of these. And move it in. Meanwhile, you panic. Send all your Wisps away. He goes for the next Wisp. Empty. Put it in. Send this one here. Abuse this. Go past here. Demon cannot go past. This is why, by the way, you don't build Moonwell ever against the trees. Because that's hard. Tree Moonwell.
Oh, okay.
This is against the trees. I made a sin here. So I can't go past. This is bad.
Huh, okay.
So the greatest way to lose a hero harass is to use the largest path.
Okay. Huh.
Is to use the largest unbroken chain of hero body blockers, which this is. And then to abuse this.
That is very interesting, too. So I guess if you are under attack, should you always immediately come back home with the hero?
Yes. If your Wisp's under attack mid-tech, it is a crisis event of nuclear proportions.
Okay, yeah.
Night Elf needs lumber miners more than any other race. You can use Staff of Tele, you can use TP. There's also other things you can do. You can close them in. Soft versus hard means Wisp can go, hero cannot.
So now the hero is stuck in there.
Yeah. So if I now TP, he's going to try to break out.
Oh.
He can't get out. You kill his Blade Master that's stuck here. If he has a bit of mana, he wants to Windwalk. You can do this and then mana burn him as well. That's minus 90. So there's all kinds of tricks you can do to punish people that harass. This is some of it. After order is restored, you can bring your Wisps back. The fast way is to select them all and then send them home. If you want them to complete one more gathering spree, then you do shift right click.
They do? They actually finish their job first? Oh, sick. Okay.
Yeah. And then they go. So if you want to be efficient, you take a Wisp on the trees and you hold shift and you build a building.
Okay.
And if you want to be fast, you don't hold shift.
Especially for Hunter's Hold, that's relevant, right? Because that's not really, like, you're not really in a rush. Like, it's... You want to build
Except
it when
if
it's
you're
like
already
half,
late.
but yeah.
Yeah, true. Of course, building earlier means less likely to be cancelled.
Right. Okay.
So Wisp tricks to save. Abuse a tree line with a soft building. Like abuse a tree line that doesn't allow heroes to get past. Cycle in and out of mine. Send Wisps to remote locations in a spread out fashion. Or emergency send away a lot of Wisps when it's a really freaking big panic.
Very
So
cool.
We got a couple of Wisps here, got a Wisp here, got some here. Okay, now, if you're still under attack in an enduring tower rush, which I'm sorry to say, my friend, you will be tower rushed. And you want buildings, And let's say you want lures, then you could do something crazy like this. Proxy. Not for cheese, but for...
Just
you
to,
know,
to have the tech. Yeah.
yeah. Has many vulnerabilities, as you can imagine, but there are situations where it's better to do that than not to have lures at all.
Yeah, because the fact that you
Okay.
can only make Dryads and Bears is awesome, but it's also kind of a risk, right? Because you need, you need the Bears or you need the Druids. Like
If
you
you're
need
getting
the Druid
attacked,
lore or whatever it's called.
if you're
The
getting
ancient
attacked
lore.
and chased, you can do an unload command and then use your wisps. You go here, he's chasing, unload, use wisps to hold position.
Can Wisps attack?
No, but you can use them to block, right?
Okay,
Sometimes
yeah,
it can
yeah,
be
yeah.
clutch. There's going to be moments where you run around your tree, blade is hitting you, and then it's like, oh no, he's getting a couple of hits in every time. Let's go behind my gold mine, shift click here. He follows, bam, hold
That is
position.
neat, yeah.
Wisps are a fighting unit. We didn't talk about it yet. In a fight against priest, sorceress, spirit walker, death knight, lich, etc. Bringing like 3 to 4 wisps to blow up their mana, remove their positive buffs like Scroll of the Beast, Protection Scroll, etc. can be a lifesaver. Use it judiciously, because lumber is very important for Night Elf.
Right.
But let's say you have 9 wisps, and you look, you have 1200 lumber. Oh my god, of course you're gonna bring 3-4 wisps to help in the fight, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. And what if at that point you happen to be teching? Like say I'm like a third of the way through to like, I don't know, like the tier 3, and I don't yet have my like my opponent attacks me, but I don't have like a surplus of wood at that point. I guess survival is the most important thing, but it feels
Yeah.
it's a
Okay.
bit complicated at that point.
I'm gonna paint you a picture. This will be very relevant. Okay.
I feel like if Lowko tries this, the Wisps are going to block his own hero. Okay, guys. True. But also rude.
People are gonna show up with 2 water elementals, 4 footmen, and 3 rifles. Sorry, it's 4 rifles now and 3 footmen.
Okay.
AM, foot, rifleman. Okay, he's gonna show up with an army like this. Sorry, that's not AM, it's water elemental.
Right.
GG. Whatever.
It's
you
okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, he's gonna show up with this. You're gonna have Demon Hunter, 5 archers, Naga, and 2 lores building. But maybe you have like 2 Dryads, but no bears yet, for instance. In this situation, do you know how riflemen perform against Dryads?
No. I think they do a lot of damage.
Yeah. So these are unarmored. Takes bonus from piercing. So Dryads lose to rifles. So Water Elemental also have piercing. So they kill Dryads. So in this situation, you can either take a straight up fight against 2 Water Elementals, or you can bring 3 Wisps. Oops. You can bring 3 Wisps, detonate them on the Mountain King and Archmage and 2 Water Elementals, instantly deleting both Elementals. And the earlier you do that, the less he has those, the less mana he has, etc. Then you'll use your Demon and Archers and Naga to quickly kill the Footmen, which will only leave the Rifles behind, and they will be targeted next. Now, if you don't use Wisps here, you will lose every game against this. And if
Okay.
you do bring it, then you can win.
Okay. Yeah, so they're actually like an absolute necessity here.
Yes.
So you generally bring 3?
They do about 200 to 25 damage. And Water Elemental level 2 has like 625 HP, so you need 3.
Okay.
Level 1 Wolves from Farseer have 250 HP, so it's minus 225 from Wisp, so 1 is enough, and then 2 auto attacks.
Okay.
And then level 2 Wolves are like 350, so you need 2 Wisps.
But I guess it will be apparent too when you just attack them, right? Like you detonate one and you see,
Yes.
okay, it's not dead.
You'll see it. You know Wisp do mana burn, right?
Yeah.
Do you know it has friendly fire?
I did not know that. No.
Okay. Don't mana burn your own demon and naga and bears, if possible.
Okay, that's correct. Okay, that's actually very important. Okay, so first, what are
Yes,
levels?
it is.
Generally 3. Wisp.
Okay, do you know how Abolish works from Dryads?
So I know there's an auto cast ability, and I know you can cast it manually on things like water elementals.
Oh, perfect.
I've
Yeah,
done it
that's
like
the main thing.
once because I keep forgetting that is a thing.
Okay, very important as well. Same reasoning. But be careful, Abolish is short range. If you go in range to Abolish, rifles can hit Dryads.
Oh,
so that's
okay.
often a trade-off. This is why humans still summon water elementals, even though you've got 10 Dryads. Because they want your Dryads to step up, and they're going to micro their rifles to kill them once you do. It's a very familiar song and dance for this matchup.
So you always need to... That's the ability you always need to research, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And it takes quite a while.
Yeah.
But it's cheap, 50-50.
So it's generally when you are going to tier 3, right, and you're building Dryads at tier 2, how many Dryads do you usually build?
Yeah, great question. So usually the flow is 2 lore tier 3. We do 1 adept upgrade and 1 bear. That
Okay.
gives you 1 rejuve. And the next step is either 2 bears or 1 dryad, 1 abolish, or 2 dryad. These are the 3 major, I would say, variants.
Okay.
The-
So 1 adept, bear, 1 bear. 2 bear, or 1 dryad, plus abolish, or 2 dryad. Okay.
This is bear maxing for timing for top unit,
That's what I've been doing, but I end up with like 7 bears. It's a bit much.
which is fine. It's a very good, diverse army. You've got tank, DPS, and healer. All in one.
You're not wrong. Insane. Basically, the whole build is just bears and heroes.
You've got a full World of Warcraft raid dungeon group. You've got a full MOBA team. Okay, this is for removing Hex and Tangle.
Okay. Oh, it works against Hex as well, obviously. Yeah.
Yep, but Hex is a debuff, but it's hero-based debuff. Therefore, it will need to be manual cast.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas Slow is a unit-based, and that will be auto-casted.
So it's only the hero-based abilities that need to be manually dispelled, right?
Correct. And summons, which are also hero-based.
Yeah.
to be fair.
Yeah. Okay.
So that actually covers it. Yeah, so this is the usual step progression.
Okay. So what I've been doing is just making bears there, and then I get to the tier 3 and I make the bear upgrade, but I might want to consider adding in not a million bears, but also a few dryads.
This is the strongest for your timing.
But it's also kind of flimsy, I guess, a little vulnerable.
If you have 3 bears and all you're doing is roar and rejuve and you can barely fight, it can be flimsy, yes. And let's say, for instance, you're being attacked by huntresses. You would probably open with 2 dryads before your first bear even.
Right.
Because dryads hard counter huntresses.
Yeah, makes sense.
And you'll learn more about that as you play more. But you can store this for future reference.
Excellent. I have a lot of notes.
Yep.
Gonna be
It's a
rehearsing
lot.
for the test.
It's a lot, but because you take notes, I feel more confident to go longer.
I have quite a few. Also from the replay analysis. I tried to keep it at least reasonably concise, but
I saw that, yeah. It's great.
there's a little bit of a little bit of work that I need to do.
But it's fun. It's a fun journey.
Yeah. Yeah, I just need to make sure I don't get too, you know, like trying to execute all of it. So the main problem you kind of run into is like prioritization, right? Like what is important at what time.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think the only way to do that is just practice, right? So.
Yep. So nothing again for us two in the next few days because application and it's going to take some time. But anywhere from like, if you put in enough games, anywhere from like Saturday, Sunday, can always do something again.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you know when I have some specific questions.
You can DM me on Discord anytime.
Okay.
For like quick fix stuff. But let's say the next coaching session will be a few days hence.
Oh,
you can
okay,
always
okay,
message
like that.
me
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Discord.
No,
Yeah,
I
like
definitely need
questions.
some games here to implement all of it.
Cool. Lowko, you were a great student and a great guy. It was super fun.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is super useful. Yeah, thank you for taking the time. This is sick.
My pleasure. Good luck on the ladder.
Yo, you too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you, Lowko.